And give me no more love no more, I guess, because before we get started, if you don't like the live, just leave. You don't got to report it. You just leave. Last time, I guess y'all didn't like too much of that truth, so y'all went and reported the live. And I got a 3-day ban. But that's cool. Whatever. Anyway. Who is the dude in the background? That's BG. That's BG. If Trump would have negotiated for her release, we wouldn't have gave up the Merchant of Death. So we wouldn't have gave up the Merchant of Death. If we would have gave up the Merchant of Death, we would have got at least four people for. We got one person for the Merchant of Death. The Merchant of Death, we gave up one person. So the Democrats, y'all need to, let's stop looking at it from a lens of a Democrat or a Republican. It was a bad trade. It was. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you got to come outside your party and say, this was a bad trade. This was a bad trade, Like, and we got to really look at why the trade was made. It wasn't made because she was black. It wasn't made because she was a woman. Y'all go look at that, why it was made. So black people out here, y'all all happy and stuff. Oh, man, come on now. This trade was not made because she was black. This was not a trade made because she was black. I'm letting y'all know now. And Biden, this was a bad trade. This was a bad trade all the way around. I would have just said no. You have people in America in state jails doing more time than Brittany Griner was doing. So all of that talk about gun control and all of that, the Democrats could kill that. You could kill that. We don't want to hear nothing else from the Democrats about gun control. Because if you really cared about gun control, you wouldn't have let out the Merchants of Death. You wouldn't have never let that guy out. And like I said in my last video, this just shows that America doesn't care about the average person. Because let's start with everybody talking about the WNBA doesn't make a lot of money. The WNBA makes more money than the average citizen out there. So we got all of these women out here. Y'all need to pay the WNBA. Y'all need to pay the WNBA. When the WNBA only works for 4 months. And they're making more in 4 months than most people are making supporting families in a year. But yet, you're not crying for the average citizen, whether they're a man or a woman, to have a pay raise. You're crying for people who play basketball to get a pay raise. That's what you're crying for. What other business do you know that can operate at a deficit? And this is sexism right here, because men can't do this. There's no male sports league that can operate at a deficit for 10 years and still be in existence. Name that league. Name the league that can operate at a deficit for 10 years and still be in existence. There's no such league. If you don't turn a profit in male sports in a few years, they're gonna pull the plug. But the WNBA been out. The WNBA been out 10 years, and it hasn't turned one profit. And yet you still got people crying about the women are underpaid. What is percentage of zero? This just shows a lot of people in America doesn't know how business work. This is not black privilege. I wish I would stop saying that. This is not black privilege. This is not black privilege. If she was a black straight male trapped in Russia, she would not be home. if she was a black straight male, this is more than being black and more than being a woman. This is being an elitist. That's what people don't understand. This is about being an elitist. Because if I was trapped in Russia right now as a black man, for all of y'all saying, oh, it's about black privilege, you wouldn't hear nothing about my black ass. I'm telling you that right now. I would just be in Russia doing the damn crime. No one be like, oh, you remember that dude? He's in Russia. This is about being an elitist because that's who we care about in America. There's Americans locked up all around the world. There's like 60 Americans being detained in 18 countries, and you don't know none of them because they're not famous. They're not famous. They're not famous. When Brittany Griner went there, when they went to try to find Brittany Griner, they found a white woman who'd been locked up in the Russian jail for like years, probably like 3 years. They didn't even know she was in the jail. And you know, she's not getting out of the jail. This is all about being a celebrity. If this was Tom Brady, they would have made the same deal. If this was Vin Diesel, they would have made the same deal. This is all about being a celebrity. It's all about being famous. It's all about being rich. They don't care about poor people in America. In America, America eats the poor. So if you white, if you was black, if you was Asian, if you was Hispanic, and you was trapped in Russia and you wasn't known, you'll still be in Russia doing time. You think Joe Biden's going to give up the merchant of death for you? You think Joe Biden is going to give up the merchant of death for the average person? No. No. No, they're not. They're not. The only way you're getting out of jail and getting help from the government is you got to have a high-profile case. You got to have a high-profile case. And to have a high-profile case, you got to be a high-profile person. So everyone who's saying this is black privilege, this is black privilege, no, it's not. No, it's not. This is not black privilege. This doesn't even have nothing to do with race. It doesn't have nothing to do with sex. It doesn't even have anything to do with being LGBTQ. This is all about celebrity, being famous. It's about being famous. That's all this shit is. It's being famous. And that's what people have to understand. The government don't give a shit about the little man in America. And you don't either. Because all of you liberals who are crying about the wage gap, you're crying about the wage gap for some privileged women who get to work 5 months. And they make more money than men and women who work a whole year. And you out here crying about the wage gap? For some privilege, you're crying about the wage gap for some women who run up and down the court. It's not even real work for 5 months. You saying they underpaid, they underpaid. Well, what about Betty who works at the Burger King? What about Miss Sue who works at the homeless shelter? What about Catherine who works at the insurance company? But you're not crying about them being underpaid. About somebody who's running down a damn court.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm doing great. Hey, I just wanted to hit on this real quick. Hold on, my bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I agree with what you're saying. However, there is one thing I would say. I think the Democratic Party is going to use this to gain votes from those communities, from the black community, from the LGBTQ community. They are going to almost parade Brittany around when it comes that time, because that time is coming. And they're going to say, look what we did for you.
I agree with you, but I would say this. The black community has to realize the Democratic Party ain't did nothing but they've given them tokens since they took over. Now the LGBT community, They're always going to vote for the Democrats because look who they got there. I'm echoing. You got to go on mute for a minute. The
Yeah,
LGBTQ
I
community,
mean,
they owe the Democrats all their rights. They didn't have no rights till the Democrats came in, so they always going to vote for the Democrats.
Hey, how y'all doing, man? Y'all good?
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
good.
I think it's just a political move more than it's anything else, and I think we're gonna see that going forward.
I honestly think it's going to
Well,
backfire, though. I think it's going to
You think so?
backfire. Yeah, because I think,
can I elaborate on what Mr. Hoop is saying for a second?
yeah, go ahead.
Of course they're going to use it. I mean, it's a powerful move for the Democrats and the LGBT that community. Of course they're going to use it. I mean, if you was in a position, wouldn't you use it?
Yeah,
That dude should be left in Russia. We should have brought back the Marines.
Well, that's
I mean,
why it's going to backfire.
I don't agree with politics at all, but it is a powerful move, and
It
people
is,
is
but
like they're
Biden's a piece of shit.
surprised that they're going to use this as a weapon. Of course, they're going to use it. Why not?
No,
Biden
you
is a
know
piece
why
of
they're not going to be able to use it? The only way they're going to be able to use this as a powerful move depends on the merchant of death. Now, the
Well, it
merchant of
depends on
death,
Biden and if he's
no, listen to me. It depends on the
yeah.
merchant of death.
Who
Because if the
that?
merchant of death
Who
stays
that?
quiet, they can use it.
Who's
But if the
that?
merchant of death gets out and starts
Who?
selling arms that get U.S. soldiers killed, it's
Right.
going to backfire on them.
Oh, you mean
You
the
know
other
what?
guy? Yeah.
I can agree
Yeah,
Yeah.
with
yeah,
that
yeah.
100%, brother. I agree with that 100%.
Well, this dude Brittany should have
100%.
been stuck in Russia, and we should have traded the Merchant of Death for the decorated Marine, not this dude who hates the U.S. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the merchant of death shouldn't have been traded for neither of two of them,
I
if you
agree.
ask me.
I agree.
Because if you ever served in the military, they teach you that no one's bigger than the military. So, like,
Right.
if they catch your captain, you're supposed to kill the captain. You ain't supposed to give up the ship or give
But
up your
listen,
stuff.
listen. Can I
Right.
just say something? We have to
Right.
realize this country is being led officially by a senile applesauce brains president and a bunch of woke,
Wow.
liberal, nonsense teenagers. And that's what you get.
Yeah,
I didn't
you're
vote for
right.
Biden. Don't blame me. Know
You're
what I'm
right.
saying?
It is Biden. I agree. Biden is making a lot of pandering moves that really
Right.
doesn't help. When you're the president, you got to look out for all Americans. And unfortunately, we ain't had that. Now you have Biden, who is one of the biggest racists there ever was, now
That's
trying to make
true.
up for his racism.
So
And
let me
still, he has not really did anything for the black community, but put people of tokens in positions but if we as black people, if we be really serious with ourselves, what has Biden did of substance for us?
nothing. Show me a Democrat that's done something for us black people. Show me a Democrat that's done good for us. They don't exist. Yet we still vote for these pieces of garbage. Show me a Democrat that's done a good job for black folk. You can't show one. But we black folk continue to vote for Democrats. Why?
So let me ask you a question. Who the best candidate to run this country right now of color?
Well, I don't look at skin color.
I mean, well, we basing it on blacks. I mean, that's what we
No,
basing this
no, no,
conversation
brother.
on.
No. No, I
Based it
want the
on
best
American.
person. I don't care about the
y'all hear
skin
me?
color.
Okay,
Yeah, hold on. We can hear you. Someone's talking. Go ahead
okay.
and keep talking.
I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't talking to you. Who was talking?
I don't know if y'all can hear
Mr.
me or I can't hear
Mr.
y'all.
Shea, my bad. I interrupted. It was my fault.
It's all good. All good.
Yeah, I think when in this situation, because this is the thing, the military is made up of different color races, different
Right.
sexes, different genders.
Right.
And this man is a major threat to the military. So in this
He is.
situation, you should have did what was best for all Americans. Not everybody was going to like the fact that you would have if you would have said no to the trade. But now you're putting all Americans in danger, and
True.
that's the problem. If this backfires, the Democrats lost the president. It don't matter who the Republican is. If this backfires and this man goes out and kills thousands or even hundreds of Americans, the Republicans the one. This is
Can
over
I
with.
can I say something? Can I say something in response to that comment?
Go ahead.
I agree with you, except for the fact. Can you get
Well,
rid of that person?
let me take someone out.
Thank you. The media is going to do everything it can to protect Democrats. We see it now with Twitter.
Right.
If Twitter had not shadow banned so many Republicans, Trump would have won. So the press does what it can to protect Biden. So if this angel of death does something, God forbid, to Americans, we're not going to know about it because the press will protect Biden and his corrupt family and all the nincompoop woke lefties that work for him.
Wow.
In my opinion.
Well, the thing is, the families like this is what I feel. If you have a family member who's in the military and they can prove that this merchant of death has something to do with the attack that these soldiers was in, I would sue the U.S. government because your attack wouldn't have happened if this trade wouldn't have happened.
Immunity. Can't do it.
So do y'all think this negotiation was a little deeper than what we can comprehend?
I think the negotiation was a way to appease to the left, and it wasn't Biden's decision. One of these woke lefty nut jobs went up to him and said, "Excuse me, Mr. Applesauce of brains, we want to trade. We want to trade. This person for that person." And Biden probably eating his yogurt and having his wife, massage his feet. Said, "Okay, now it is."
Okay. So are you a Trump supporter, Mr. Shea?
Well,
Listen, I voted for
I'm just,
Trump
I
because
mean,
I can't
just
stand
a simple
Biden because
question.
Biden's a racist. Biden
Okay.
is a pure racist. I voted for Trump. I despise Trump. I
I understand.
despise Trump.
So do you think the negotiation would have went better or quicker if Trump was in office? Just a question.
Well, I don't think we should have been working to get Brittany back. I think we should have been trying to get the decorated Marine back.
Well,
That's understood.
he wasn't decorated. He was
Or I thought it
dishonorably
was.
discharged, and Trump
Okay.
Okay.
refused to get him back. Trump refused to
I don't
negotiate to
know.
get him back.
I take your word on that. I don't know. But I'll take your word on that. So I wouldn't
Yeah,
have done anything.
right.
Listen,
I
this
don't.
is a great.
hey, look here.
Wait a minute. Go ahead, IMF. Go ahead. You
Yeah,
talking?
so back to what you were saying. I might not like Trump, but my household, I had more. I had more food. I had more gas money. And
Yep.
so, like, I had more from our home. Not that I necessarily agreed with everything he said.
But
I agree with
I
I'm
you.
not a
agree.
Democrat or a Republican, but I don't think that we should have brought her home. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
Exactly.
But see, a lot of
She broke the law.
people was
Well,
feeling
well,
like
two people broke.
this.
I'm
This
sorry.
wait a minute, hold on. This is what people have to understand. It doesn't matter how little drugs she had. When you go to a different country, you're under different
You
laws,
better
That's
know
right.
you better know the law of that country. Otherwise, you're going to get what she got.
right? So it's like she knew she'd been back and forth from that country, so she knew that you couldn't. Someone should have told her that, like, yo, you can't bring that stuff in here.
She
Yeah, she
knew.
played ball
Well,
there.
there's another guy that nobody talks about, a white guy that got caught at the same airport with just about the same amount of drugs, and he's
The school
doing
teacher,
14 years in prison over there.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
The school
and it
teacher.
was medical stuff for his spine, and he's doing 14 years. You ain't even heard about that, dude.
No, you haven't. You haven't heard about that, dude.
Well, I
At
think
all.
Yeah,
Brittany.
this just shows you that the American government is for famous people and the elites, and they don't give a shit about the American people.
Well,
That's
Right.
called
Biden sure
That's
greed.
don't.
basically what my point is. They don't. They don't care. And people saying this is about her being black. If that was me over there, y'all wouldn't have heard nothing about me. This
Straight
ain't
up.
has
No,
nothing to do
no,
with
it's
being black.
famous or elites, man. That's all they care about and filling their pockets. Everyone that's in Congress or the Senate should be in prison for insider trading. There shouldn't be different laws for politicians than the regular American people. I'm tired of our government, man. I'm so sick and
Absolutely.
tired of
It's
them, man.
called greed, brother. You're absolutely correct.
I,
Greed.
I'm talking about vote all incumbents out. They keep on talking about we need experience in there. Why you ain't done nothing for us? You all that experience isn't doing nothing for us. Your policies are bullshit. It's time for them to all get voted out.
Randall, let me ask you a question. I don't know where you live, but who did you vote for in the last election? Was it a
I
Democrat?
didn't vote because I'm
Okay,
that tired of our politicians. I didn't
gotcha.
vote.
You
Understood.
know what? I didn't
So
vote
I'm
either,
from
man.
California and I'm
Yeah.
tired of
I'm
all
from
the
Texas.
politicians. Everyone's like, oh, Nancy Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi. How about Mitch McConnell and all the other fucking jokers that are in our government? Every one of them need to go. I'm sorry. Thank you for giving me my time, and you
I
have a
agree.
great
No, but
holiday.
you're telling the truth. You're telling the truth, though. There
You
needs
are,
to
Mr.
be
Randall.
time. There needs to be time limits because you got to think about it. At 89 years old, they trying to take people's driver's license away from them. So why we got 89-year-olds running the country who've been running the country since most of us been in high school?
Absolutely. Not only do we need term limits, but there needs to be a limit on how old you can be to be the president. You have to be 35 to qualify. We need to put a qualifier at the other end to keep old people that they're losing their cognitive decision making out of the office. It's sickening what our country's turning into.
You
And
just
it's because
described
we let
President
all these career
Applesauce train.
politicians, we let all these career politicians stay in there and fatten their pockets, and they don't give a shit about nothing else except special interests, the elite, and famous people. That's it.
Yep.
But you
Listen, I got
guys
We
to
should
have a
be
jump off.
great
You guys, I got to
holiday.
go, man. You have a good weekend, and I
all right.
appreciate your time. You be
All right.
well. Be safe. Thanks,
You
guys.
too. Yeah. We should go a step farther and make the Supreme Court where they have to run. You shouldn't be able to be a judge for life. You should have to maybe
Absolutely. I agree with
10
that
Yeah,
years,
100%.
I
split the
agree with you.
country up in 9 districts, and 10 years, you have to rerun. 10 years, you can only do one term because 10 years is a long time. And you
Absolutely.
have to run. The
Absolutely.
president
I
shouldn't get
agree.
to
I
pick
agree.
the Supreme Court.
And you know what, man? Nobody bring up those points. That is a major point. You're on point. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
All right. So,
I just
hello?
think the negotiation was just a little deeper than what we can comprehend. That's why we're confused about what happened, and we'll never know the real reason. Why she got released and others didn't. But I just think the negotiation just was a little deeper, man. Of course, it's political, it's politics, but I just think it was just a little deeper than what people could comprehend.
From what I heard, though, Trump, they see this is the problem. For what they saying about Russia, Russia wouldn't let go of the Marines because Russia says the Marines are spy. So if Russia is sticking hard to its guns about we're not going to let no one who spied on our country go, we should be sticking hard to our guns saying we're not going to let nobody who tried to kill our citizens go.
I
But
understand that. I do.
so the trade
But
shouldn't even, I would have offered money before because Russia needs money. I would have said, I'll give you $1 million. Give her back to
no
us.
doubt. No doubt. If they let someone that dangerous go, that's why I'm saying it's deeper, or just it's we can't comprehend. If they let someone that dangerous, a killer, a known killer, that can kill thousands at a time, it's a reason why. And I just don't think we'll never know the real reason. It's just the reason why.
Oh, we know
There's no
what the reason
comparison.
was. She
Brittany
was
Griner and this guy, no comparison to me.
No, but you also got to look at the pulse of the country because the pulse of the country is uh, IMF. Are you still from Cali? Are you the one from California?
No, he got off.
no,
That
that
was
guy
Randall.
left.
Well, if you know, Gavin Newsom just made California a sanctuary state. So if you want to change your gender and you don't, and your parents won't allow you, you can come to California and change your gender without your parents' permission.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
and you see what the streets look like.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, you taking away parental rights. Then you had in Florida, You had in Florida the whole that bill where people who didn't somehow it got turned into "Don't Say Gay" when all the bill was saying is you can't teach sexuality to people in the fourth grade. That's it. So
That's crazy. Man, you know what? This is my first time ever connecting with anyone on live, and I'm from Texas. Man, I really got on your live to get educated about a lot of stuff because I'm illiterate to a lot of things. You know, I don't pay attention to a lot of stuff. I'm 46 years old, and it's a lot of things that you guys know that I should, man. So I'm from Texas, man. Can you tell me a little bit about my state?
well,
Any,
Texas
any
is
one of you
even on
guys?
the agenda too because that one guy I forgot his name, but his dog his wife was trying to turn his son into a girl. And he went before the Texas Supreme Court and tried to say, when he's with me, he acts like a boy, but when he's with her, she got him dressing in dresses, and he was trying to, and they gave custody
Yep.
of the child to her. So
Yep.
Wow,
it's like it's no safe place.
no safe place. And you know what? We used to be a state that didn't tolerate any of that.
Nah,
Any of that.
but
I'm from Houston, man, and it's real big down here. But at one point in time, I mean, you know, the same sex couldn't get married. I mean, it was just you just had to be, you know, boyfriend and boyfriend, girlfriend and girlfriend. But it's crazy how things changed because we was a state that was really not about that crap. And excuse me, I hate to call it crap, but about that life.
Yeah.
but that's the thing. It seemed like like everybody trying to be like, oh, it's your business, do what you want to do, we don't care. And that was fine. I felt the same way. If you want to get married, that's your business, get married.
Right.
And then it was like that wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough. And it was like we
Yep.
want to go to the bathroom of our choice.
That's crazy.
Then it
Yep.
went to we won't. Then it now because we didn't stop it earlier. Now it's all the way down to the kids. It's like we let
Well,
you in the door. Now you're trying to take everything.
That's,
what about the
man, check
athletes
this out.
now?
Man, I would get personal with you guys because I really it's just an open book to me. I have three teenage daughters,
Hmm.
and two of my daughters are struggling with that right now, brother, with the confusion, and I just do not know how to approach it. And it's just everything that's on television is they can't escape it. And school, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy. So
Well,
I'm dealing with
so to
that
touch.
now with two of my daughters, 16 years old and 14-year old. My 17-year old is okay. My 16-year old and my 14-year old is on that path, and I don't know what to do as a dad.
How about the athletes? How it was just like you said. It was okay. Normalizing gay marriage, and then it moves on to this, and then the sports where guys
Right,
are just killing the girls.
right.
And I read a comment where it said, "Well, they need to do better,"
Wow.
and that's just wrong
I think it's
to me,
100%
anyway.
wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. It is wrong. But like even this is like one of there was a beauty pageant, and the man and the trans won the beauty
Oh
pageant.
yeah, yep, yep.
I
And,
ain't
and,
never.
and but here's a good point. The lady
I think that was like
said,
New York or something.
I think so, but one of the ladies said, what if a woman looked like he did? Would she have won the beauty pageant? And that was a good point. What if a woman looked like, because it's a beauty pageant, right? And this doesn't have nothing to do with trans or nothing. But she said, what if a woman competed in a beauty pageant and she looked like that transgender looked? Would she had won?
That's
Nope,
crazy. This is my first
nope.
time hearing about that story. Man, wow.
She wouldn't have won. So
She wouldn't.
basically, you just saying she won because that person won because they was a transgender. Like you discredited all of these people who worked all of their life for this one movement. You didn't even give them a chance to win.
That is crazy. Whew, man. A couple of months back, the NCAA got mad at a transgender winning. inside of a woman's a swimming they had a swimming relay, and a transgender won it. I mean, like Michael Phelps, and they had a problem with that. I'm just like, well, man, I mean, if y'all allow it, why do y'all have a problem with it? I don't
That's
understand
what
it.
I said. Once you show up to compete, you you have no right to complain. If you have a problem with it, don't compete. When you show up to
Don't compete.
compete, you're sanctioning it. So
That's
you
what it
can't get
is.
out and say, "Oh, I feel like I was robbed." You shouldn't have competed. You should
Right.
have boycotted it.
I agree, and I
Hey
agree.
guys,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. I
Well,
just found out the other day in Arkansas there was a girl hurt by a transgender male. She was vividly assaulted in the girls' bathroom.
Oh my God!
This
Wow.
fucking country. This fucking country.
Yeah,
Just
man.
There was
sickening.
a story in California where a girl was assaulted in the McDonald's
I ain't mean to
bathroom.
cuss on your live, dude.
I don't worry about it. There was a girl assaulted in the bathroom. They caught the guy like some years later. Now he's claimed he was 16 when he did it. They caught him when he was 21. Now he's claiming to be a transgender. So
That is
the
crazy.
DA of LA is like, oh, we're going to charge him as a juvenile and we're going to put him in juvenile hall with the girls.
What?
That's what I said. I said, that's crazy.
I don't let my
That's crazy.
granddaughter go to the bathroom by herself anymore in a public
Yeah,
place.
yeah, because you
You
never know.
can't.
May I
Go
minor
ahead.
thing? Because I've been waiting all day for somebody to allow me in the box to say something. I can tell you like this right now. In my opinion, it's my opinion. We failed as a country. I would pick one. No, I did not know about this Marine that we have locked up, or that they have locked up over there. We failed as a country. We failed, and I don't know if Brittany Griner is a transgender or not. It really doesn't matter if she is or isn't. It doesn't matter your sexuality. None of that matters. We
Mm-mm.
failed as a country. We did not bring somebody home that fights for our country. But we brought a basketball player back at the drop of a dime. But you ain't willing to do that? No, we failed as a country. This country is so messed up. We failed as a country.
Well, in defense of the country and the Marine got dishonorably discharged. And
Okay, see,
the Marine said that, and this is a fishy story. The Marine said that a friend gave him the flash drive that he did. Someone set him up and gave him the flash drive. But this is the thing that we should look at. We failed as a country when you see homeless veterans sleeping on the streets.
Yeah.
You can go fight for your country, and your country
don't fight for you.
puts you on the streets. You know,
Well,
It
I
like
do
seems
know.
like they care about the people coming over in
right,
Mexico more than they care about the vets.
right.
You do.
When they was bringing over them Afghanistans from because of the Afghanistan war, Biden messed that up. You're automatically giving these people houses, and you done got people who done fought in you got people from World War II to the Vietnam War, Afghanistan the first time. All of these people living on the streets having mental health problems, but you don't got no help for them.
Then
My
But
we could
y'all,
dad
go as
said,
y'all do know that the media want us to believe that Russia was just only negotiating Brittany and no one else. It was Brittany or no one. So that's what the media is telling us. So I do agree with when you say we failed as a country because they're trying to feed us that Russia only had her up for negotiation, nobody else. So
and
it's
didn't
really
the Marine have the same
it's
amount?
not Brittany's fault. It's not Brittany's fault that she got
we
released. It's America.
were handed over an arms dealer, right?
Right. No,
Five.
no comparison. I agree with you 100%. No comparison. But that was the
Basketball.
only deal that Russia was giving us. It was either Brittany or nobody. That was it.
But see
That's
that,
what the
but
media is
see
feeding
that's
us.
what. But people are saying this is how weak we have become because we're allowing another country to dictate to us the terms that when it used
I
to
thought
be
we don't
we was a
negotiate
strong
with
country.
terrorists.
I
I
agree.
thought we
Huh?
don't negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah, I agree
Exactly.
with you, honey. I agree with you, Derek. Straight up, 100%.
Well, then we can go
We
back.
used
If
to,
say the homeless, we can go back to Pac's words when Pac said, "You got $3 million and Trump is in office." And I don't care who. I listen. I'm not allowed to vote, so I can't. You know what I mean? I don't have no political views on that. You have $3 million and you got somebody with like Trump that has 20 fucking houses in his room or 20 bedrooms in his room or this, that, and the other. And there's people on the street homeless. Bro, we messed up as a country.
No doubt.
We with our people. We
No
messed up.
doubt.
Care what color you are, what your sexuality
All
is,
Americans. All
nationality.
Americans.
None of that matters. We messed up as a country.
No doubt. 100%.
but you know, the crazy thing is, the more that these people push for unity, the more they seem to divide us. That's what people don't understand. Like these are people using unity as a discord or division because you're like it's like the Black Lives Matter movement, the Antifa movement, the whole Democrats. You're like dividing us. You're not bringing us together. That's what people don't understand. You're
No,
dividing us. You're making
Rick,
people hate each other.
they want everybody to argue with everybody. Yo,
Right?
if everybody was to come together as a unit, there would be no government. We wouldn't need a president.
Now,
If everybody had logical thinking and everybody came together, we would not need a president in this in
True.
all. But
right.
nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to argue, oh, this person's this color, this person believes this person listens to this music, this person likes the color blue, and this person likes the color red. Who the fuck cares, bro? I don't care what you give me respect, I'll give it back. End of the day.
Well,
That's what it's
didn't
all
Brittany
about.
Griner don't like American anyway? She said she hated America.
Yeah, she knew. I don't know if she said she hated America, but
He
she
didn't
was
like
one of the ones
America
who
because
refused to stand for the national anthem.
See, my dad fought in Vietnam for her right to do that, and I don't understand it.
she didn't like America because America didn't come and get her right away. Well, I'm sorry, young lady, Brittany Griner.
Now
You're
she did
not
this before. She did this before she got in trouble.
okay. Well, listen, and I have a real listen. I don't agree with what she got in trouble for because I tell you what, they allow women on the corners to open up their, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's okay. That's okay for people to do. But you're telling me she can't walk through the airport with some trees?
But it's
But,
in Russian. That's what people got to understand. It's Russian. It's
but
not America. You got
Yeah,
to
that's
Russia
follow that
Russia
rule.
law.
Russia
But the
Yeah.
allowed
Marine had the same amount on him as she did.
it
Now the
doesn't matter.
Marine got called for spying. There was a teacher over there who's still in Russia who got a 14-year sentence who had the same amount as she did, and we didn't. I mean, you could have threw the teacher in the deal. You could have said, "Okay, I understand you don't want to
True.
give us the Marine, but give us the teacher." You had to make it look, even though we wouldn't have never got the advantage because that's the merchant of death. But people could have seen, oh, we got 2 for 1.
But
You know
Russia
that
fucked up too.
you
You
get
allow
2 for 1.
women to go in the corner and sell their body, but you're not going to allow somebody to walk through with some trees in the airport.
And
I
How
don't
what's
is
so
that?
know.
thrown about it, what's so crazy about it, it was cannabis oil. It wasn't even much marijuana, the flower itself. It was the oil. That's
But yet
crazy.
you're going to allow women to stand on the corner and sell their bodies, and that's
Yeah.
perfectly legal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But
The thing is, she should know when this is the problem with all Americans. When you leave America, you're not in America. You got to
Absolutely.
do and respect those people's laws. And
you
when
don't have the rights that you have in this country. You're absolutely right.
right,
Yeah,
so you got
you're
a
right.
lot of people who get who got privilege. We think we're privileged when we go to other countries, trying to say, like I heard people in foreign countries talk about, you don't speak English, you don't speak English. Hey, no, they in that country, they don't got to speak English. That's for
No
when they
doubt.
come here.
No doubt.
You know, with all due respect to those people in other countries, first of all, I'm fighting for a right now, but I don't go to somebody else's country if I can't speak your language. I can't. How am I supposed to communicate with you? Google Translate? No, I don't do it. I won't do it. I just don't understand, man. I just don't get it, bro. We gave up our arms dealer for a basketball player, but didn't bring our Marine home. Whether he was dishonorably discharged or not, he still fought for this country. I have no
That's true.
military background. As far as I know, nobody in my family has military background. But I do know the people that go and fight for our rights, where we can stand up and do this right now and talk all the shit we want. And we're not going to bring that person home, but we're going to bring a
Russia,
basketball player home.
Russia wouldn't give up the Marine.
They
Russia,
would
because
Okay,
not.
Russia stuck
because
to his guns. Russia said the Marine was a spy, and we're not giving y'all a spy. America
That's
should have
exactly.
they
stuck to
could have
its
gave us
guns
the
and said,
people too.
we're not. See, Brittany
So if we got
Griner
the
should
best
have been
military in
added
the
into
world,
the
why
deal.
ain't the CIA over there, or why ain't they over there going to get this man?
Can't.
Well,
You
it
have the
ain't worth
best
starting.
team in
Ain't
the world.
nobody worth. Let's be real about it. Nobody's worth. If they was to catch the president, if they was to
They
catch
won't
the
get the
president,
president.
the way America is set up is,
Please don't leave him over there. But
I would shoot him. If they caught the president, I would shoot him. My dad was in the Navy, and he said, like, if they ever caught the captain of the ship, before you negotiate with him, you try to kill the captain. So America got to understand you're expendable. We like we're not- we didn't someone said we don't negotiate with terrorists. So
yeah,
we don't negotiate with terrorists, but somehow we're negotiating with terrorists.
we
Americans
do.
have to right. When you leave America, you have to understand that. Like if you get caught, that's the way it used to be in the old days. If you got caught,
You got
you have
caught.
to understand you on your own. We're not about to. We're not just going to negotiate. We're not going to negotiate for you.
Yeah, you fucked up. You got caught. That's your problem. That's
Do
not
you
us.
think maybe this is covering up the laptop?
Probably. It's. I think it's two things here.
You don't think
It's
this is a political run either for Biden?
yeah. That's what I was about to say. It's like the Democrats when they made Miss Jackson the Supreme Court justice. Um, Miss Jackson was not the most qualified black person to be the Supreme Court justice as a woman, but she fit their agenda, and it also, oh, look what we gave y'all Supreme Court justice. It looks good for women. It looks good for black people, and she's gonna keep their agenda alive. The same with Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris carried the black vote and carried some of the Asian vote that got Joe Biden in office. We got
I'm
to
so
get out of this identity politics for first. Everybody got to get away from this identity politics because this is going to kill the country.
yep. I'm so tired of
Well,
hearing black and white and this and that, bro. I tell you what, if
well,
I see you bleed the same color, if you cut me, I bleed the same color. We're all human beings at the end of the day.
you- can I
Hey,
say
I got,
something real quick?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I was being disrespectful,
You
but
know,
cut you off. But what? Okay, look. To me, in my eyes, a win is a win. Finally, even though they didn't bring the ex-marine back because he did whatever he did. Okay, and she did too. But the ex-marine is kind of like a traitor, though, right? Isn't he a traitor?
if that's what the
Wait,
government's
wait,
really
wait, hold on. How is he a traitor? How is he a traitor?
Okay, wouldn't he?
no,
What
he was
was
a
he selling
spy.
the
He was
guns
a
to?
spy. Espionage.
They said
Espionage.
he was selling
Right. He wasn't
guns.
spying on America.
he was
Yeah.
spying on
Okay,
me.
okay.
Okay,
But
that's what they need us to
I
believe.
just want to address Derek real quick, and I want to address Sonia when they were saying how America we believe the same. When America give us reparations, give us our money,
Hey,
and give us
hold on
equal
one second.
rights.
Hold on one second. Everybody got to mute themselves. It's too much noise. Mute yourself, and then when you time to talk, come back on. Everybody mute themselves. It's too much background noise. Go ahead, Spicy Jim.
Okay, we all know that America is not right. I mean, they want to. A lot of people want to say, "Oh, it's not color. We don't see color," but it's there. We see it. We see it. I don't know why y'all can't see it. If they wanted to be equal, do right by us. And then maybe we all can come together and take down the government and stand up for what's the rights, what's our rights supposed to be. But it's not equal, and everybody do see color. Because if they didn't say they don't see color, that's a problem. Because you can't tell me you don't see what's been going on over years and centuries in America. So yeah, America is playing. America probably didn't even want to bring her home. Because if they did, they would have been fought for her a long time ago when they see how, why is she getting a choice? She getting all these years for just smoking the cannabis. But then, they could have been fought for her. They let her sit over there. They probably didn't
Can
really
I
want
say
to
something?
bring her home for real.
Who wants to go
Can I
ahead? Go
say
ahead.
something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
They've been working to get Brittany out for 9 months.
Exactly.
They've been working behind the scenes, working to get her out. Now, let me say this. Trevor Reed, y'all heard of Trevor Reed?
Which
Trevor
one is
Reed
that?
was a former you, huh?
Maybe I
Trevor
think I
Reed
know
was
who
a
you're
form.
talking about. That's the one the sportscaster had to go get.
No, that's the one Joe Biden got out. Joe
Right.
Biden,
Locked up.
they did a prison swap for him. He was detained in 2019 under the Trump administration, but he was returned back April the 27th in 2020.
Yep.
Joe Biden them did a prison swap. It wasn't talked about a lot, but yeah. And also this Paul Whelan, he had 17 count indictments on him. He got kicked out the military because he was stealing other soldiers' ID, Social Security numbers. He had stole over 10,000 some dollars, so he was kicked out, and he was in a lot of more trouble. Even his family came out and said Joe Biden them made the right decision. Just because you couldn't get my brother out, you know, they weren't gonna let him out. He wasn't coming.
I
And
don't mean to cut you off, but I don't think that's the problem. The problem is what we gave up. Now,
he
everybody,
had, he had
we can kiss Joe Biden's ass all we want to,
no, I'm
but
not. I'm not kissing his butt. What I'm saying, this man has 7 years left. He was gonna get out in 7 more years. He's
Exactly.
been in there over a decade. He was gonna get out, and it wasn't like we wasn't gonna never release him. He was gonna get out in 7 more years. And
Yep.
so they just weighed their option. They didn't want to do this swap. Joe Biden them really didn't want to do it. They just had to hold their nose and just try to make the best of it and bring her home. She was gonna be there 9 years. This guy is gonna be out in 7 years. And they already told Joe Biden that Paul Whelan ain't even on the table for discussion. So, you know,
well, this is the thing. I know about Paul Whelan, but you have a teacher over there. I understand you saying he got 7 years and she had 9 years. I understand that. But if you're gonna do the trade, get the teacher too. Make it 2 for 1. His crime is what this man is charged with. If you want to put the years together, let's put the crimes together. His crime is way worse than Brittany Griner. He's more valuable to Russia than Brittany Griner is to us. He gets out, he goes back to his old ways. Now we all in trouble. She gets out, she goes back to her old ways. The WNBA still sucks. And she was smoking cannabis. So it was too much. If you got to weigh it out like
listen.
that, like yeah, he's gonna get out in
Do
seven
you?
years, but right
I
now is
think
not the right time to let him out. We at war. We got
your mic
sanctions.
has
We at
got a.
war.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Can I jump in
your
right?
mic has got an echo.
That's your mic.
Your mic has got an echo.
That's you. Who's
Yeah.
mic it? Who's
Oh,
trying to
that's
talk?
me. Listen, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I don't hear echo.
No, I
Uh,
don't hear one
Me
either.
neither.
Hold
hey,
on.
can I jump in right fast?
Go ahead, Bruce.
Um, Here's the thing.
He
All right.
said the WNBA.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. All right. Do y'all not trust? I know y'all have problems with the country and everything, and I have problems with the country too. Do y'all not trust American intel? Do y'all not trust the American intelligence? Do y'all not think that they did their due diligence before making this deal as far as this man is being released and his capabilities and everything? Do y'all not know that he's wanted in like almost 100 other countries? He can't just roam the earth
Yeah,
free. He can't
but
just
we
roam.
let him go.
Yeah, we let him go. Yeah, we did. And the
Look,
things that he
a
can do
basketball
today,
player.
the things that he can do today, he can do 7 years from now, regardless of whatever. Just like the gentleman just said, he was going to get out regardless. He's going to get out regardless. This man is wanted in other countries, and not only that, think about everything else that's done happened in the world over the last year or so. We have dealt a blow to Russia without lifting a damn finger. Y'all do understand that, right? With us
No, we
provide,
haven't. No, we
huh?
haven't. We haven't.
Trust me,
We really
we have.
haven't.
We have.
Russia
We ain't
wasn't
done.
never a threat to us in the first place. The biggest threat to us is China.
Okay, they may not be a bigger threat than China,
The
but
same app we're on right now.
they might not be a biggest threat as China as what y'all think. I mean, no, I don't think anybody in here is forming military or anything except with me. But anywho,
What does that mean? You're not high up. You're not a general. Let's
no.
let's let's. I don't want to disrespect the military. But let's put the military in perspective.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's really put the military in perspective. Y'all have not fought for anyone's freedom.
I didn't say
If
that.
we study the history of the military, I just want to put this out there. If we study the history of the military,
Okay,
World War One, when y'all was out there saying y'all people when they was like, "Oh, we're fighting for your freedom."
I didn't fight for nobody's freedom. Don't put me in World War One. I
No,
wasn't there.
listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. World War One, you must have not been fighting for black people's freedom because we were still getting lynched, and you was the quicker to get lynched if you had on a uniform. The same with World War II, you were still segregated. The Vietnam War, that was not for Americans. It had nothing to do with America. Your freedom wasn't being threatened. The Korean War, it had nothing to do with America. Your freedom wasn't being threatened. If we come to modern times, the Afghanistan War, the Persian Gulf War, all of that shit was over oil. It had nothing to do with my freedom.
I'm
It
not
just
just
meant that
saying
it
that you.
just meant that I couldn't use no oil. So the
I'm
military needs to stop patting itself on the back and understand you're fighting for the 1%. You're
wow.
not fighting for the 99%
Okay.
because the rights, especially as a black person, the rights I got did not come from the military. The
I'm
rights I got came from black people getting their ass beat in the streets.
not denying anything that you saying, sir. I not sit up here saying that I fought for your freedom. I have not held a weapon to anybody's head or went to anybody's war. If anything, you can say I defended the East Coast of the United States. I did not even leave the East Coast of the United States. Oh, so with that being said, we're gonna get back.
Home of hip hop.
We're gonna get back to the current situation that we're talking about, and talk about the gentleman that everybody's going crazy over as far as this merchant of death person that everybody's going crazy over. Didn't nobody on this 85% of America, period, didn't know nothing about this gentleman.
I'm
Let's
gonna
be
have to stop you right there. That's a lie. That's what y'all keep
We weren't
saying.
allowed.
Did you ever see the movie
We weren't
War
allowed to
Dogs?
know.
The
yeah,
war? No, no, no. There's a movie.
Yep.
Did you see
war
the
dog.
movie?
Did
Not
you
War Dogs,
I
War
see
Lord.
war dogs,
That
but
was about him.
a good portion of people didn't even see that movie. That
But
wasn't
but don't come on here saying that we didn't know about that man. We knew about that man.
okay. The gentleman at the bottom is literally talking about people that he didn't know about.
Well,
He
that's one person.
that's
Don't
one person.
say, just say him then. That's where we
Okay.
got to be specific at. Say him. Say he
Okay.
didn't know because the rest of us knew. Some of us knew.
Oh, okay. So if all right, if you knew, if you knew, what exactly is what exactly did he do? If you knew, feel
He's
free
an
to.
orange dealer. What are you trying? But what is your point? Because people have the right to be upset.
I mean, I'm literally you keep cutting me off, sir.
What is your point? Make your point.
I'm
Just don't use general terms, okay? Don't put everybody in the same boat.
uh,
Nicolas Cage was in the movie. Go ahead.
Yo, yeah, I seen the movie myself, and I being as though I seen the movie myself, I didn't know it was about Victor Boot. Was Nicholas Cage name in the movie Nicholas Victor Boot?
But that's
No,
you. Don't. That's what I'm saying. This is
no,
the,
it was
and
not.
I'm not mad at you, but this is the argument that people are making. Just because you or these people making that argument didn't know something about this man, don't mean the rest of us didn't.
Okay, to each his own on that subject. I'm gonna continue on what I'm saying. Being as though that this gentleman has been released, I'm pretty sure the United States of America has done its due diligence as far as what his capabilities can and cannot be. Being as though this gentleman is wanted in a good portion of almost 100 countries, I'm pretty sure this man's capabilities is very limited to what it used to be. They didn't just release somebody that had a nuclear weapon in his backyard. People need to relax on that part. Now, as far as the other lady, she's gone now. She's talking about, oh, my granddaddy fought in Vietnam for her rights. Yeah, he did fight for her rights. Let's say that he did. She has a right.
I don't care about none of that.
Well, that's too
Let
bad.
him talk.
I don't,
Let him talk. Hold on. You
Yeah,
get to
it's
talk.
just,
Let him talk.
yeah, I will. I
right.
will.
Let him
I'll
talk.
stop. I'll let him talk.
Yeah, please. Anywho, all right. Let's say that I'm not going to deny that that lady's grandfather fought for the rights of Americans all over the place. But if he fought for the rights for Americans all over the place, regardless of whether or not you agree with that young lady or not, as far as her beliefs of this country, her rights is her rights, and she has the right to voice her opinions about this country. No different than what we're doing on this live right now. No different than that. Than anybody else walking this earth. She has her rights
Okay,
to
okay.
show
Let
her.
me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. Do you feel that a person who denounced the damn country that the country is obligated to go get them?
I didn't say that it was obligated to go get. I didn't say that.
But so
I
that's what
I
Good
I,
people
point.
are.
I, I believe
That's
so.
what people are saying when they say, "Oh, we did this and that." It's like you denounced the country, so why are we even negotiating for you?
Hey,
You
hold
could
it.
stay the hell over there and rot.
I totally agree with you on. Is the point
100.
that this is a political move? I totally agree with you on that. Totally agree with you. Because regardless of whether it was Trump that did it or Biden that did it, they would have used that move for political a political upper hand in the situation with an election coming up and stuff like that. I totally agree with you. I agree with you on that point. It's all political. This the Biden's gonna benefit from the LGBT community and the black community from this. He's gonna benefit from that. That's without denial. There's no way that anybody can deny that. But as far as her, people get mad because she's using her right to say whatever. It's her right. It's her right. It's her freedom to do that. Why get mad? I mean, you could get mad at it, but at the same time, she's still an American citizen at the end of the day.
At the end of
She
the
wasn't.
day,
She wasn't the one that said, "Hey, Marine, I'm gonna go before you go. Just chill out for a second." She didn't do that. Don't get
But
mad that
no,
she.
no, 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 I don't mean to stop you. This
Go
is what people are saying.
ahead.
You okay? She decided to disrespect the country.
And that was her right.
Yeah, that's her right. That's her right.
so
But
did
at
that
the wait,
Marine.
hold,
So did that
hold on, wait a
Marine.
minute, hold on. But at the same time, I don't care about the Marine. I'm not talking about the Marine. At the same time, people are saying, "Oh, you disrespected the country. Now you need the country to come save your ass." I
Yeah,
don't think we're gonna do that.
literally what happened.
That's the same. That's the same. That's the. She decided to disrespect the country,
That's I mean that
and that's her right. Like you said, that's her right. And it's also the right of the American citizens to voice their opinion and say, since she wanted to disrespect the country, I don't think we should go save her.
that's
Stay your ass over there.
that is absolutely their right to say that. That is absolutely their right to say that. I cannot deny that, sir. Cannot deny that at all. If people have a particular opinion about her whatsoever, they have every right to have and voice their opinion about her whatsoever. I can't deny that. Cannot. But
And that's all
one
people are
more,
saying. Like, you disrespected the country, so why should the country come and save you?
hey, what happened. It's kind of through the wayside. It's been done. But one more thing, as far as the Marine goes, that's over there, I look at it as a common sense thing. I'm speaking as if I was Russia. All right, this man went over here to a friend's wedding, went to Russia for a friend's wedding, and got a USB thing with some pictures on it. In today's technology, I'm just thinking on a common sense level. In today's technology, I don't know too many people within the last 20 years that transfer pictures like that. I could be wrong, but I mean, it's kind of like a telltale sign of, hey, something fishy going on. If I was Russia, don't nobody know what was on that USB. Ain't nothing was said was on that USB. But hey, it's something. If I was Russia, the country, and you gonna tell me that you came over here and for some pictures on a USB, that's fishy to me. So,
No,
and
no,
with
I
that,
agree with you. That's what we agree about. When I read
yeah,
the story about how he got the USB, I'm like, dude is lying. That's
but
that's some stuff out of the movies that someone walks up and hands you a USB and you don't know what's on it.
yeah,
I'm like,
that's
that's some stuff out of the movies, man. That don't happen. Like, it don't
but
happen like that.
host. With that being said, I mean, well, I kind of lost my train of thought. With that being said, who knows what was found or whatever? We don't know that.
No, I agree with you. I agree
So,
with
so
you.
yeah. So with that being said, being as though we don't know that U.S. Marine probably wasn't on the table because of we don't know what was found. We don't know what he knows. He
But
could
but also, I'm gonna cut you up. But also, you gotta look at his history. That dude has a shady history. I mean,
he,
everybody's looking at the fact that he was in the Marines,
he
but he
has
has a shady history. So
and
he
it's
probably was over there
yeah.
spying for a couple
And
of dollars.
as far as you said something about generals, I watched a video on a general last night that was kind of speaking on the subject, and I never known this. People let's get one thing straight. He was not dishonorably discharged. He had a bad conduct discharge for one. People that's
Okay.
in those positions and they can hold time over people's heads, they can use them in situations like that and force them to do stuff like that. And I had not one clue about that. They can use that to make him go do some dirty work, holding time over his head, say, "Hey, get this done, and we'll make everything disappear." This was from a general's mouth.
Hey, I done seen the police do it, so I
Yeah,
don't put it past them.
absolutely no different than on the streets. No
Right.
different on the streets.
So we in
So
agreement. We in 100% agreement with the Marine.
yeah,
I
as far as that goes, that Marine probably really won't on the table.
No,
So
he wasn't on the take. Russia didn't want to give up the Marine. All I'm saying is they could have got the teacher. You should have got the teacher
I,
too.
I agree with you on that. It could have been a 3-for-1 type thing. A couple of people that like the teacher, and it was another gentleman that they was talking about this over there too. But
There's a lady over there too. So
yeah,
they could have did that. But
but
the Marine, I couldn't agree with you because that whole story sounds shady. Everybody's just on the thing that he was a Marine. They're not really looking into the whole story.
and being a former Marine myself, I mean, you got to take the emotion out of it and look at it on a common sense standpoint. Hey,
Right,
something right. The reason that dude ain't get released, something ain't right. That dude probably knows something. He probably knows something. That's probably one of the reasons why he's not getting released.
right. Yeah, I agree
But
with you.
yeah,
I agree with you.
but as
I
far
just
as
want to say one thing
what
and then I'll get off. I
the
was just
Hold on,
reading
man.
your
go
You
ahead,
can
comments.
go
go ahead.
next. Wait a
I
minute.
was just I was just
Go ahead.
reading the comments again, and one of the biggest things that get me is everybody wants to fight about, oh, the dumbass Democrats, the dumbass Republicans. One of the biggest things that our government's smart. They're not dumb. And the biggest way to control a population is divide and conquer. And that's all they do. When we're fighting about Democrats or Republicans or black and white, it's all in the media. All of it's pushed at us all day long, every day. Divide and conquer. That's what they're doing to us. That's what they're doing to our country. And when people keep on putting out dumbass Democrats and all that shit, it ain't bringing us together. We need to come together as Americans and take our country back because
Hey,
it's we the people, not the government fills their pockets. That's all I really
Randall,
had to say about that because I seen
Randall.
somebody on here. I was like, what the fuck, man? What?
How you gotta watch that cussing?
Hey,
I'm sorry.
that's
I'm sorry.
you really interrupted their conversation to say that, and
Yes, because I see
that's a
people on there
shame.
talking about dumb Republicans. They're talking about a
Look,
Marine. Who cares about the Marine? They shouldn't even let Brittany Griner go. She broke the law. She should still be in prison. You
well,
can't do the
let
time. Don't do the
me say
crime.
So,
She's
one
been
thing,
over there a million times.
and hey, host, I don't know if you know this or not, or heard of this, and I don't know if it's 100% true. One of the things that I heard also watching the videos that I watched last night, that they changed that law when she got locked up. The maximum sentence for what she had at that time, from what I heard, was 25 days, and they changed it once they had it. They used from my understanding, they used her as a political pawn to do what they did.
And that may be true. That may be true, man. And I can't deny that. But our government does some shady ass shit. And
Oh yeah, definitely.
they could have changed the law. But just like original has said, it
damn
doesn't matter.
man,
When you go to another country, you better know the laws
Randall.
because if you don't, you're going to end
Let
up
him
in
speak. Let
prison.
him speak. Let him speak. Go ahead, Brandon.
Go
So,
ahead.
well, hold on, because you came in after me. Now, I was letting them have a
I came in
conversation,
earlier too,
and you came in
but
to tell us how we should come together.
yep.
Who is we?
American people,
Second,
the American people,
second,
not the government, the American people,
but
the American
who is
people,
we? Who is we?
uh, the American people, like you and me and original and the
Why?
American people.
Why?
People fail to realize that America's brand is run right.
Hey,
It's working just like it's supposed
this
to
Explain,
work.
but when you
a
say
question.
come
I'm going to
together,
explain.
because you included, hold on, you included black
I'm
and
listening.
white, and we should come together. And I'm going to assume that you are a white man. Am I right?
I am a white man. Yep.
Okay. So you, who are you telling us as
I'm not
black
telling
people,
you.
we should come
I'm
together?
saying that no. That ain't what I'm saying, man. What I'm saying as American people, not black, not white, just
Hey, Mr.
Americans
Randall, can I ask you a
You
question?
need to
Right?
said,
stop
okay,
fighting.
so you, hold on, you said
Hey,
divide and
hold
That's
on.
what
conquer,
it
We
has to
can't come
come down to.
out.
and you said white and
I'm
black.
listening.
And so
And
let
Mexicans
me
and
tell you
Chinese and
what I've seen.
Americans, man.
Hold on, Randall. Hold on, Randall.
I'm listening.
Let me explain.
I'm listening.
Let me explain what most white people do. Okay, they come into these black spaces
All right, I'm
and
listening.
they tell us that we are divided and we need to come together. We're all human. You know, the government is the problem, and you're right. I mean, they're responsible, but the
That ain't the
problem is
only
the
problem.
people.
I mean,
The
look,
problem is, hold
there,
on. The problem is the
there are
people.
plenty of ignorant
The
people out there.
problem is the
I agree.
people.
Yeah.
It's the people.
I agree.
Can I ask him a
I
question?
agree.
So,
Can I ask him a question,
so
Chris?
Go
Absolutely.
ahead.
Hey, Randall.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mr.
Yep.
Randall. I'm gonna ask you one question.
I'm
When
listening.
has America ever been together as a whole?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Did you hear what I
No,
asked?
we haven't.
We've
But
never been.
but
It's
yeah, you said
something
have we ever been together as a whole?
it's kind of like something that's probably never going to happen, sir. We just do the best we can every day.
No,
But
absolutely, man. And I agree with that. You do the best you can every day. I do the best I can every day. I try not to judge people. I'm a human just like anybody else,
and y'all been
but
doing that for a long time.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on,
see,
hold on.
there you're
Hold on.
doing the same
Wait.
thing
So
you
Everybody
just said
chill,
I'm doing is you're
chill.
lumping us
Everybody
together.
chill. I mean, because every time we have this argument, and I'm not taking up for white
Sorry.
people, But
Yeah,
we, as
and
black
that's all
people,
right.
we cannot deny that along the way that you done had some white people fight with us. John Brown,
Absolutely.
some of the
Absolutely.
abolitionists.
Yeah.
So it's unfair to say like all white people act this way, all white people act that way. If
Absolutely.
you know,
That's right.
like if he's saying
It's the
that
same way.
Americans
It's the
need to come
same way as
together,
the other way.
I
right?
agree.
If he's saying if we really look at the situation, I mean, Americans need to all people really need to come together because
Yeah.
you're being ruled by the elite and they keep racism as
Amen.
is a
Amen.
tool that they use around the world. Classism, racism, sexism, all of this stuff is tools they use to keep us divided. And everybody like slavery. I mean, one of the things I know as black people, we want to think slavery is solely our thing, but half the world been enslaved.
Yeah.
Slavery didn't start with America. It's just
Nope.
that in America, it's the biggest issue in America. But when you go outside of America, slavery been going on since this world has started. But if we want to talk
It's
about, if we
still
want
even
to
in
change the
Libya.
system, hold on, Randall. If we want to change
I'm,
the system in the end, we are going to have to talk about coming together. You
And
are going to have to talk
can
about
I
coming together.
can I piggyback off that?
Go
Because
ahead.
that was the main thing I wanted to say when I came onto this live is that we are playing into the hands of the enemy. Don't you think Putin knew
absolutely.
that this deal would have us fighting each other? He already knew that. They have
Yep.
been they used that divide and conquer. They've been using that since
Yep.
slavery. They want us fighting each
Absolutely.
other. And we got to stop shouting at each other on these lives and start
Fact,
talking to each other
fact,
because we got more in common than we have
Then we
opposite
don't.
of each other.
facts.
Than we exactly.
Absolutely. So one of the things I say, and I say it a lot. I
God
went back
damn,
to
Randall.
college when I was
Randall, it was my turn to
47.
speak.
Let me just finish it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So as I said, most white people are the problem. It's the culture.
Hey, hold someone
If
step
you
out.
understand, hold on,
All right,
hold on.
Bruce.
If you understand culture, you realize you won't come at me at this Republican Democrat problem, uh liberal conservative problem. You know, I'm not speaking politics. And that's why I say it's a human problem. It's a people problem. So there's there's nothing I can learn from you about this, Randall. There's nothing I can learn.
You,
You
I
have
mean,
no
that's fine,
history.
and you
You
can
have no
have that opinion.
y'all have no historical
You
record. Now,
hold on a
if I'm
second.
wrong,
You said
if
what you
I'm
said. Now
wrong,
let me say something.
Randall, don't cut me off. If I'm wrong, prove it.
Wait a
That's
minute.
what I'm going to say.
Wait a
If
minute. Wait a
I'm
minute.
wrong, prove it.
Hold on, Creed. Let me understand what you're saying. Are
So
you saying there's nothing you can learn from the white race or a white individual who happens to be white?
there's nothing I can learn from the culture.
I,
What
I'm
is the
not talking
culture of
about
white
that
people,
part of
though?
it. There is no such
You
thing as a culture of white people. You're either Swedish or Norwegian or English. That's
you hear
the
that?
culture. There is no such
You hear
thing as
that?
a white culture.
He's not
You
lying.
So
He's not
listen,
lying.
there?
I
So
like,
am.
look,
There
there's
is
no
no
thing
such
of a
thing
white
as a
culture.
white culture.
There's no such thing as a white
So,
culture.
so let me tell you this. This is my belief
Okay,
as a
okay.
white
So
man
okay.
is
So
that
they say the American
nothing's
culture.
going to be
The American
equal.
culture. Okay, if you want to say that,
That,
what's the historical? Hold on. What's the historical facts of the American culture? You want to
what's
say
the
That
that?
historical
rich
facts
white
of any
people run
culture?
America.
So
No white
let
people
me.
don't
Poor
run America.
white
White
people
people
don't run
don't.
America.
No.
Rich
Okay,
white
yeah.
people run
White
America.
people don't run America. The people who run America happen to be white, but they
Poor
don't give
white
a
people.
damn about the
Rich
white people in
white people do.
America. They'll kill them just as fast as they'll kill
And
us.
rich. So
We doing the same thing I just
So
talked
look,
about. Listen,
look.
the
why are you
enemy
saying
is
you don't
not
want to?
white
You want to
people.
say you can't
It's
learn
not
nothing from
black
white people?
people. The enemy is
So
not
you don't know.
white people. The enemy is
Well,
not black people.
absolutely,
The
man.
enemy is the elite that
Exactly.
are the elite. You know
Absolutely.
that want us arguing
So
against each other,
so
want us
is
fighting against each other.
you tell me because it's a lot of it's a lot of trash out there. So you telling me it's the elite that's causing white people to hate black people?
Okay,
It's
wait a minute.
cause
Hold
the
on, Creed.
elite is teaching all of us
No,
to hate each other.
that sounds
Yep.
that's a poor excuse to not hold somebody accountable for their individual actions.
Let's forget about holding each other accountable. The Lord said, "Vengeance is mine." The Lord will take care of anybody that ever do anything to you. We can't hold people accountable. I told people on the live yesterday. I said, "You know what?
Man,
When you try to listen at me, listen at me.
no, man, that
Listen to
don't
what
that
I'm
don't
saying. Listen to
that's
what I'm
not
saying,
bringing
Craig.
change fast enough. That's not bringing change
No,
fast enough.
listen,
See,
Craig.
you're
You
comfortable
trying to
within the
force
system.
change, and you
You're
can't
comfortable
force
within the
change.
system. Now,
Oh, wait.
let me speak about
Wait. Hold on. Stop. Creed,
Brittany Griner.
Creed. Chill.
Creed,
Chill.
Creed. What I'm saying
Chill.
is, when you try to control something that's out of your control, you lose control. You only have you know who you control. You know who I control. The only person
Yourself.
I can control is myself. And when
Absolutely.
I
Yes,
can control how I react to a
man,
situation.
you ain't gonna be here in
Creed,
30 years.
Creed,
You
can
ain't
I
even
speak?
worried. That's
Creed,
crazy. Like,
Creed,
no, you ain't
let
worried
me
because you
speak.
ain't gonna have to deal with it in 30 years. I don't want to deal with it in 30 years. So,
What you want to do then? What you want to do? What you want to do? Go to war? Or what? What you gonna do? How you gonna force these people to change? Tell
Can
me.
I just respond to Creed real quick?
Randall, tell us.
Can I
Tell
respond to
us.
Creed real quick?
All right, let Randall
Go
talk. Let
ahead.
him talk.
Because he
Let
said
No,
he
Randall
couldn't
talk.
learn
Let
nothing
Randall
from a
no.
talk
white
without being
person.
interrupted.
And
Come on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Come on, y'all. Y'all, if y'all normally watch me, I normally be
all right.
all up in the spam. I'm trying to chill. Let's keep it respectful. Let everyone talk. Everyone gonna
Yeah,
get
I
their
don't want
chance
to
to
argue.
talk. Go ahead, Randall. Randall, go ahead.
All I want to say is, okay, I'm talking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is he said something about he can't learn something from white people. Well, I learned a lot of things from some black men, and I understand that we're not equal in the sight of a lot of people. I'm not a racist. I don't give a. I hate those fucking motherfuckers.
Come
But the
on, Randall.
problem
Chill with the
to
chill.
me is
Chill with the
we're
cussing,
not going
Randall.
to be. Hold on, let me finish.
I
Let me
know, but chill
finish.
with the cussing. Chill with the cussing.
Let me finish.
Don't cuss
All
no
I,
more. That's all I'm asking you.
okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep,
Go ahead.
absolutely. I'll try to refrain from that.
Okay.
It's just how I talk.
Okay.
But Creed, my whole thing, Creed, is we can't be equal until the schools in places like Chicago and Compton are equal to the schools in Beverly Hills, man. I feel the plight that you have to live. It I didn't cause that plight. I didn't enslave nobody, but I feel I have so many friends that that grew up in Compton and shit that seen their uncle get shot. That's fucked up. They're over policed. They got alcohol and guns on every corner. That shit needs to change, along with the schools. I mean, if you don't give equal education to everybody across the board, that's one of the problems. Is they tax the neighborhoods for the school. That ain't where it should come. That should be from the federal government to make all schools equal so everybody has an equal chance to get a better life. So you can say you
So,
can't learn nothing from me, Creed, but I got
Randall.
love for you, brother, and I hope that you have a good life, man. That's it.
All right. So, Randall, Malcolm X said that the white people are not the standard of equality. Now, so what you just told me
I agree with that, though.
is you put yourself on a pedestal, okay? And you said, you know what?
I didn't put myself
When
on a pedestal. I'm
equality,
a poor
hold
white
on.
man.
Randall,
Hold
let him
on,
talk.
hold
Let
on.
him talk, Randall. Let him talk.
You said
I'm
equality
listening.
is the
I'm
white
listening.
man being eye level to me. So you're telling us that
That ain't
we
what I
we
said.
would we need to be equal
Okay.
to you. So now I'm gonna ask you a question. Would that be
That
a
ain't what I said,
downgrade
dude.
or upgrade?
Say it again.
I said,
I
would
didn't hear
that
you.
be a
Say it again.
downgrade if I'm equal to you? Okay, would that be a downgrade or an upgrade? Would that mean a better person or a worse person?
I
Hey
don't
man,
know. I try to be the best person I can, man. So I
wait.
don't
Let me
know
step
who
in.
you
Let me step
are
in. Wait, hold
as
on.
in
Wait.
life. I hope
Chill.
that
Randall, chill. Creed, I understand where you're going.
I'd stop talking.
I know. I said, Creed, I understand where you're going, but the point is, you can learn from any individual. It doesn't matter about their color. I mean, you can learn from a crackhead. You can learn from a dope dealer. You can learn from the worst human being on the earth. People might think that's the worst human being on the earth. You can still learn from him. Color. You can learn. You can learn something from a homosexual. If you base your learning off of people's race, their sexuality, their gender, at one particular time, even the Bible will tell you that you ain't supposed to learn from women. And our first teacher is a mama, is our mother. So if we listen to the Bible, we wouldn't learn nothing from our mother. That's our first teacher. So I mean, at one particular time, it was women, it was blacks, it was Irish, it was some type of race. But I think what everyone is saying that like racism is just like, even if you go with the racism is just a tool that's being used by the elite to keep us all divided. Racism just isn't a problem in
Yes.
America. Racism is a problem in the Philippines, and they're all Filipinos.
Hmm.
Racism is a problem in Japan, and the majority of them are Japanese. It's a problem in China, and most of them are Chinese. They use anything to keep us divided. Because
Right.
if we as the people of the world are divided, they can control the world. That's why there's 300 people who have more wealth than 3 billion people because we're too divided fighting each other.
Yes. I agree.
I agree too.
Oh, I
I
know you agree. I know you
like I
agree. And
said,
then Randall will be right
I,
there with you.
like I
Now,
said,
what
I
I'm
And
got
then the
saying
other
is,
questions,
guy,
Creed.
the
You
Creed,
know,
other
Creed,
I
guy
what
and
will
got
let
I'm
me
be
say
right there
saying,
questions.
with you.
something.
The real,
Creed, Creed,
hey,
Creed,
Too many
y'all will
people
agree.
talking, too many people
Okay,
talking.
so
Creed, I used to feel the same way you did, Creed. I used to be full of anger and holding that anger in
yeah, I
and
know. Hey, man, no, Jonathan, look. Like I said, you're not gonna have to worry about it in 30 years. You're in a comfortable
why?
position
Why?
in the system of white supremacy in the
Why
system.
I'm not gonna have to worry about it? You
So
telling me I'm not gonna live 30 years?
40. I mean, you're
Uh,
comfortable with it. I mean,
I have
and
kids, grandkids,
you,
and soon to be great
yeah, I know,
grandkids.
but you're what, and you want them to go through it too. So
Do
you're
Wait a
gonna
you?
minute.
be
I want to
angry.
say
Are
something.
we still
I want to say
I have
something.
enslaved?
every right to be angry.
Wait a minute. Hold
I
on.
have
Are
Hold on.
we?
every right.
I want to say, hold on.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I'll let you go. In 30 years, you you're correct. There's a path for black people and there's a path for the world. But this is the problem with black people have to understand. The path to black people include the path to the world. You can you it's always going to be like this if we don't deal with the worldwide oppression and who's really doing the oppression. I mean, if you understood the Black Panther Party, they fought this double fight. They understood the plot of black people, but they also understood the overall plot, and they considered themselves the vanguard of the black community, bringing the black community into the overall revolution. They understood that just because you could make a better place for black people, but if the world is still being oppressed, you're not going to really make a better place for black people. So that's why they said all power to the people.
I, can I just say
So
one thing to
You know,
Creed?
Let my man the real go.
Okay, yeah,
okay, so
yep.
I'm gonna just say I would just say something real quick. So I was listening to everybody in the live, so I'll say this really fast, right? So, um, people think that, white supremacy is like a big issue. And I will agree that at one particular time that was an issue in this country now. But remember, I know Creed mentioned about Malcolm X, right? And what he talked about as far as racism and all of these other things or whatever. Now, mind you, Malcolm X was born in 1925 and he was unalive in 1965. Now, mind you, he was born just what? Maybe 60, 70 years after slavery had ended. So, of course, he had a particular worldview like him and a lot of the other early civil rights leaders, right? Now, if you fast forward 60 years later, there's been a whole bunch of monumental changes. Technology, globalism, and capitalism have changed the game in ways that people can't imagine right now. Now, as far as the power structure is concerned, it's going to be mainly a lot of these multinational corporations and a lot of these individuals who are in top positions of power that control wealth. Now, the people at the very top, you think they care about race at all? No, they don't. They
No.
don't care about that. They only care. They only care about money and power. And the way they do that is by keeping us divided. You have big tech companies that really benefit off of doing what? Gathering a lot of our intelligence and data. That's why they know exactly what we like. We know what videos we like to watch, what type of content we consume, what we like to buy. They know everything about us, right? These are the real issues, right? And a lot of people aren't really talking about it. But a lot of these companies have a lot of information and they use that information to be able to control us. Like I said, racism is an issue? Yeah, it is, but it's not the issue like it once was 70 years ago. It's completely changed now. A lot of people aren't really aware of that.
It has come a long ways. I agree with that too. But
So I think the reason why people are not aware of it is because it's being used as a tool to keep us divided. So anytime something happens to a black person, it's like, oh, it's the end of the world and we need to get out. By a black person, by a white person, it's the end of the world and we need to do this, we need to do that. But we ignore the fact that it's happening to white people too. Or it's
Oh
happening
yeah,
to this race over there.
oh
Because
yeah,
I,
they're
that's why like
suffering.
racism is
I'm
still,
sorry.
I agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying that like they're using racism to keep us divided but it looks like, but they're doing it in a slick way. It looks like they're trying to help us, but you're really
Hmm.
not trying to help us. You're using it to create division.
I just
And
want to
then
say
also
one more
Hey,
thing to
okay,
Creed real quick, and then I'll get off.
go ahead.
I'll get off, and you can invite somebody else.
Okay, go
Is
ahead.
the system isn't broke? It's working just like it was written for
Yeah.
rich white
You
people to
are
rule
right
the
about
world.
that.
So in one aspect, Creed, I agree. We need to change the system. It ain't. It's not us. I don't want to fight with you, Creed. I don't know you, but you said some valuable words that mean something, and I'm not going to say that you're wrong on any of it. But what I will say is the system isn't broke. It's working just like it was set up. And that's the part that we need to change. And when I say we as Americans. I, I, I don't know how else to say it. You don't know me from Adam, and I don't know you from Adam. But I'm a man talking to another man. And I'm saying that
right.
men and women of America need to come together and change this system because it's working
We
just
have
like it
to.
was set up, brother.
Yes.
And
We agree.
so
We have to.
I'll before you drop, I'll leave you with one thing. If you if you believe in that, prove it.
So how am I supposed to prove it to you, man? Tell me how I'm supposed to prove it to you.
The same way y'all prove. Listen, we're talking about freedom, okay? So
Freedom for
you believe
everybody. I'll
we're
walk
free.
right next to you, brother.
They believe we're free. Brittany, she is still not free, and even when she leaves the prisons in the United States, she still won't be free.
Okay.
So y'all are really having an uproar over someone who still won't be free
Okay. My only point
here
to
in America.
Brittany, my only point about Brittany is if you go to another country, you should know the laws. And if you break the laws, then you deserve to do the time for breaking the laws. Now,
So
a lot of
H. Rap
people
Brown,
in
listen,
America,
H. Rap
weed is legal.
Brown said, H. Rap Brown said,
Uh-huh.
they can always talk about law and order,
Uh-huh.
but they'll never talk about justice. And so
Wait,
let's talk
hold on.
about justice.
Wait. That's a good point.
Let's talk about
Hold on.
justice.
Wait a minute.
That's a
Let's talk
great
about
point.
justice. Hold on. Wait, let's talk about justice. This is the problem people have to understand. You're never fully going to get justice in this world until we take out the people who control the world. Taking out the
Absolutely.
average white person can't give you something he doesn't have. The average white person does not have justice. So the average Hispanic, the average Asian, we're all oppressed. So unless we're going to figure out how we're going to take out the rulers of the world, we're just spinning our wheels because you're never going to get justice. The person who rules the world is always going to make it where I'm always going to use everything to keep y'all divided, whether it's class, whether it's race, whether it's sex, whether it's height, whether it's age, whether it's what country you're from, what state you're from, what city you're from, your income level. They're always going to divide us by that. And until we as people understand, hey, fighting each other is not going to help the situation. We need to fight together and take over the world.
I
This is
agree.
all by
Absolutely.
design.
Man, they've been
And I
saying
want to say
that.
something.
Listen, man, they've been saying that. Hey, hold on. They've been saying that for centuries, or I'll say decades, right? You know,
And no
work
one has been
together.
listening. No one has been listening.
No, oh no, that we been working together, right? You know, and every movement is infiltrated.
Yeah, because they
It's
always make it
divided.
something else.
It's becoming a political. It's become a political problem. Our problems aren't political. It's
Okay,
not
let me give
about
you an
politics.
example. Let me give you an
I
example.
want
When
to
the
say something.
Irish first came, hold on. When the Irish first came here, the Irish and the blacks was in the same boat. And what the owner, the big business would do, they would hire the Irish and make the blacks have resentment against the Irish. But then when the Irish would ask for more money, they would go out and get the blacks to break the strike to make the Irish get mad at the blacks. But no one was smart enough to realize, hey, who is doing this? They just fought each other. And that's what they're doing. They're making us fight each other, but we have to become wiser to understand who is pulling the strings. Go ahead, the
Absolutely.
real one.
And I want to say something too. I agree with that 100%. And my I want to say this. So for me, I strongly believe that yes, we can change the system and we can change things if we plan ahead and think smart. Now, the brother Creed was saying something that I agree with, which is every time that there are movements that are started in order to really invoke change, to some degree, a lot of them do get infiltrated. Like the movement in Philly, like the COINTELPRO program with J. Edgar Hoover and how he targeted and infiltrated civil rights groups via the COINTEL program. So yes. Now, however, I believe that if the more knowledge that we have and the more understanding we have of how the system works, the better, easier it is for us to be able to change things. But we have to know how this capitalistic society really runs and functions to do that. You're going to need resources.
Gotta
You're going to need
progress,
money.
not digress.
You're gonna need to be able to have the resources and money necessary and the capital to be able to finance what you want. This is what the people at the top do. As soon as they have a huge amount of enough money, do you know what they start doing? They start having politicians in their pocket. You know what I mean? That's what that is. This is what these people do, 100%. You know what I mean? You have to have knowledge of the working system, and you have to have the resource to be able to do that. And we can do it.
We just have to come together.
If we ain't all in, it ain't gonna work.
Oh yeah,
Like-minded
it
people.
has to be.
So
When we talk about the movements, someone said the MOVE organization.
Yes.
You actually got to stop looking at these organizations. What happened to the MOVE organization was wrong. But the MOVE
mhm.
organization really didn't have a real plan for freedom. It didn't.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
And most of the people in Philadelphia didn't like the Move organization. And if you go watch the news footage, the black people was like, "Oh, y'all wouldn't have let this group move into a white neighborhood. Why y'all let this group move into a black neighborhood?" So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
these black groups that we want to get on their bandwagon because they're black, but we don't really know their ideologies, and their ideologies don't
True.
is not like even the white group, the Weatherman. The Weatherman had no real plan, but they was gonna blow up police cars and whatever else. They had no real plan for freedom, but they stood for freedom. A lot of times we got to examine people's ideologies before we decide to jump on the bandwagon because it's not going to work. We got to be real
I
about it.
agree.
Black Lives Matter. That shit. So it is. When black people, any black group talking about black socialism, you should leave that group right immediately because you're telling
Immediately.
me
Immediately.
13% of the population is going to overthrow the American government and we're going to turn to America socialism, you should leave immediately. There's no way that's going to work.
And funded by George Soros. And funded by George Soros. And as a Nigerian, I know for fact that socialism has destroyed Africa, destroyed it completely. But yet we want to embrace that? Please. No, sir.
But the
I,
point is,
I love this live because you guys are spitting out some facts and some true shit, and I like it. I started following you original because I like this. I like this live. A lot of them I won't follow because I don't like them, but I like this live. I think that you guys are fixing things, but I mean, you're saying things that people need to hear. That's what I'm saying, and I like it. And I'm going to sign off. Creed, I wish you the best, man. Um, yeah, we need to change the system, man. You guys have a blessed night.
Good
you too.
night.
Go
So
ahead, Creed. Go ahead. Is it Brandy? Go ahead.
I I've been listening to the live, and I just want to real quickly tell Creed, I love you, man. And I don't know what you've experienced in life to make you think that white people in a whole hate. And I'm sorry that you feel that way, but that is not the truth of the matter. And I hope you have a great night, y'all.
All right, you too. But I'm not gonna like Creed. I'm not gonna put you out there like that because I understand where you're coming at. I
Me
understand
too.
where you're coming from, but I also understand like we're only gonna get so far as black people. We could do the whole do for things self and build our businesses up and all of that, but that's only gonna get you so far. If you're really talking about a whole change, it's going to take more than it's going to take more than just building up businesses. It's I mean, we're going to have to change the whole system is wrong. The whole system is wrong. That's what people got to understand.
Yeah.
The whole governing system of
Yeah,
everybody in the world is wrong.
Yeah, I see where Creed is coming
I
from.
agree.
To be honest,
I
when
agree.
I see,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I see where Creed's coming from because when you live in America and you've seen the level of injustices that happen on a routine basis, you're going to get upset. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna start to feel a certain type of way, man. So I feel where the brother's coming from. I
Okay,
can't
but
blame
can
him.
I say something? Can I say something? Good
Yeah,
night,
go ahead.
guys. Good night, guys. We just said a while about what Creed. Why don't we flip the script?
Hmm.
Do we retaliate the same way when there are blacks turn against each other in the ghetto? Do we protest? Do we say it's wrong? Do we just keep our mouth closed? Now, in America, and hold on, in America, and not to mention back home in my country, blacks been killing blacks on a rampage. We keep our mouth closed. We don't say no word. But because white and black, it's easy to jump and create something. But what happened to us? When are we going to look in the mirror? You know why the Million Man March was powerful? Because once in their life they realize Black people was not under their control, and they want unite.
Hey, question.
Go ahead,
Um, are black people in control in your country that you were from?
bro. Black people was killing black people in my country.
I know, no, I'm talking about the country. Are they in control of the country?
White man controls every country, son.
You said what?
You think you guys are in control? That's what he just said a while ago.
I know
There's hold on, hold
I
on, hold on,
didn't
hold on, hold
ask
on, hold on.
that. I didn't ask that. I
What?
didn't ask that. Are black people in control of your country? That's a yes or no
Yes, they
question.
are. Yes, they are.
Okay,
They
are
really
black people
not.
control
But
of this
you got to
country?
understand. Wait a minute, hold on. You
No,
got
no,
to
no, no.
understand what he's
But you're
saying.
not listening to me. That's why you guys keep
No,
on.
no, no, no. no. I'm
Wait,
putting it
wait,
in
wait. Hold on. Wait, wait. Hold
perspective.
on. Wait, wait. Hold on.
I'm
Wait a
putting
minute.
it
You
in
got to understand what he's
perspective.
saying. Wait a minute. You got to understand what he's saying. Biden doesn't control this country. White people don't control this country. So all we
The
got, all of these
institutions.
leaders are puppets. These are puppets for the real people controlling the world.
Absolutely.
Bro,
Yep.
listen, there's 2% of people in this world. Only 2%. When they tell you about 99, it's just to play games with your head. There's that 1% that nobody will cross that line and go over. And see, with that 1%, this is a trick about life. A lot of people don't realize. What does everybody need in this world? Money.
Man, look.
Hold
I
on, hold
mean,
on,
I
hold on,
don't
hold on.
want
Just
to look, look,
listen.
look,
Just
look, look, look.
listen.
No,
Just
man.
let me
No,
speak,
no,
bro.
no. You're not gonna. No, you're not gonna come. No,
Just let
no.
me
Because
speak,
you're
and then
saying
you
the
can
same
say what you
shit.
want to say. Let
Oh,
me speak, and you can
my
say what
bad,
you
my
want to say.
bad. You're saying the same
Just
stuff
let me speak, and
that
you, fam. If I
you're
can
saying the
speak,
same
how you
man.
Let
gonna
them
hear
speak,
me?
Creed, then you can rebuttal. Let them speak. Come on, let's be
All right, go
respectful. We
ahead,
don't
go
got to
ahead.
agree.
That 1%, fam. Everybody needs money. You see, the 1% that's in control, they don't need money. So you see, they will always separate us and let us think that the more money we have is the more we're better than each other. So if you in that you want to call yourself 99, it's just only a next one because none of you guys can go across. If we just unite with each other, all this problem will go away. But the fact of the matter is, we put our life on a pedestal based on how much wealth we have, not just living life. What is life? Life is living. If you're not living, you don't have life. But we waste our time thinking about getting rich, and regardless of how you look at it. So what happened is that 1% know they can control you guys by doing that. And they just sit back and watch. For them right now, you think they don't watch us when we talk most of the time? This is fun for them to sit down and watch. All we have to do is unite with each other. And all we have to do is just, if you're going to talk about law, it's not only just going to be like the white against the black, it's also going to be the black against the black, the Chinese against the Chinese. Life is life. Until we understand what life is and how we want to treat each other, none of this will change. The key thing about life is whatever you don't like for yourself, don't do it to others. If we all can instill that inside, because it's in us. If we can instill that back in us, we realize that we're killing each other and warring with each other for no reason. The past is the past. We can't bring it back. If we keep living in the past, we haven't gone forward. We're still there. I have white friends, I got Chinese friends, I got black friends, Indian friends. Bro, we need to start seeing people as people. Until we keep on sitting down talking about this racism and this white and this black, racism is always going to have power. It's always going to be there. What is racism? Racism is hate. That's all it is. It's just hate. Because for you to look at a man with his skin color and say, because he's black, I hate him. Oh, he's white, I hate him. Oh, he's Chinese, I hate him. Remember, all these men that you're looking at haven't done you nothing as an individual. Anything in this world has done wrong to you. But we just grow up to think that because of the color of his skin and the past, if we continue living in the past, how are you going to get to the future, fam? We have to change as a people. Look in the mirror. We have to change.
Who
Every
is we?
individual have to change.
Who is we?
You, me, the
Who
white
is
man, the
we?
Chinese,
What
the
what do we
Indian.
call it? What do we call it when one white country attacks another white country, and now everybody's scared of World War III. Is it white on white crime? Is
Crime
that
is crime.
portrayed?
Crime is
Do you
crime.
talk
We're
about
giving
that?
crime color. Human being is
Is
human
that is
being.
that seen as, oh man? Now you're telling me black people kill each other in their own neighborhoods? Of course,
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. When
people are
countries
Let's
go,
produced.
let's
wait,
clear
hold on, hold
yourself
on, hold
out.
on, hold on, hold on. You can't compare when countries go to war with me popping Ray Ray in the head to steal $20.
That's our personal choice, not our command.
Are
Yeah,
me shooting
it's a
a
whole different
4-year-old?
level.
Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Are me shooting a
Okay.
4-year-older because I wanted to kill his mama? You can't compare that because in these countries, we only see white people, but these countries got Russia got everybody in it. Ukraine got everybody in it. America got everybody in it. And
Yeah.
most of the warfare in the world is taking place on the continent of Africa.
And then also you have to understand, and let me add something to that. You have to understand it's not like populations want to just go to war. You have because ultimately this is a
Okay, so hold on.
geopolitical game
Now
of chess. So
y'all,
it's going to be
man, whatever, man. Now,
Wait,
now
wait,
y'all,
wait,
y'all
wait a
making
second.
justification. Now that I brought that up, y'all really making
no, it's not just
justification. But y'all didn't say nothing when he was talking about black people killing each other in their own neighborhoods.
Bro,
But y'all
every
making a
friend I
justification
lost,
for when I
every
brought
friend I
that up.
lost. And
but
this is not
listen to what
no
I'm saying.
slavery.
Listen to what I'm
Wow,
saying.
Oh,
really?
Listen
one
to me.
person at a time. One
When I
person
make
at
a
a time. Go ahead,
I wanted
Darrell.
to say
Bro,
something.
you talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
my
It's
black
not
friend. No, hold on, hold on.
justification.
Talk
Let
about my
real
friend.
talk. Let the real talk. The real's talking. Go ahead,
Just
real.
real fast. Yeah, it's not no. Yeah, it's not no justification. Like we're just saying, if you're talking about war, uh, which is nation versus nation versus like maybe what happens within the inner city or whatever the case is, these are two totally different things, right? Populations don't necessarily want to go to war. It's going to be the people at the very top. Who make the decisions to determine whether or not they're going to go to war, and they're going to. It's for a whole totally different reason. They're going on a specific point to where they want to control resources and they're looking to be able to set themselves on high. You know what I mean? That's what nations do. Nations, why do you think America spends so much on its military? They're doing it to be to maintain their top position. The same way Russia has more nukes than anybody. The same reason why China's making moves. The same reason why all these other countries are making moves. It's a whole totally different thing. It's the leadership, right? It's like, and if you were to ask
So,
the average everyday person,
so
people
hold
don't
on.
want to go to
Now,
war.
you
Oh,
brought
good.
up, that it's basically a government. It's a political thing. Okay. So
Yes.
you made up all these excuses, but you didn't make up excuses of discrimination, poverty, in lots of different factors that
Mhm.
are affecting black people. Might not be affecting you.
Mhm.
You might have dodged a lot of situations,
Wait.
but
Hold on,
it's
hold on.
affecting
Wait a
us.
minute.
It's affecting us as a whole. It is
Okay,
But
wait a
let
affecting
minute.
me
us
tell
as
you
a
what's affecting
whole.
us
Wait,
as a
wait,
But
whole.
wait,
you
wait,
didn't
wait.
make
Hold
up
on.
Okay, so
Let me say something. Let
anything
me
when
say
he was
something. Okay.
talking.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You still can't compare. Even white on white crime in America can't be compared to when nations go to war. They're not going to war for the same reason. And when we look at poverty, white people, we're in poverty by percentage wise. Percentage wise, raw numbers, more white people in poverty. They did a study. The most impoverished group in New York was Asians, but Asians did not have the same amount of crime as black people had. So if we're talking about black on black crime, we're gonna have to get into the subject of culture. We're gonna have to really talk about culture. Why are black people killing each other? Why, if and we can only talk about it in America because in Africa they might be killing each other over different reasons because them people see each
Religion.
other as tribes. They're
Mhm.
probably different tribes. They're different religions. Just because they all in the same country don't mean they all on the same page because I could be from this tribe and you could be from that tribe. And we have a long history of fighting with each other. But when it comes to America, we're dealing with a different phenomenon, a different thing. Why are you killing your brother who's just as impoverished as you are? Why is you killing your brother who is facing the same oppression as you? We got to deal with that. Y'all can't keep making excuses. And when it comes to killing, the reason black on black crime is even a thing is because you're 13% of the population, and we're out killing in raw numbers 70% of the population. Black women are 7% of the population, and they're being killed more than black women are 7% of the population, and they're being killed more than white women who are 40% of the population. 13 black men die a day in this country at the hands of black men. 5 black women die a day in this country at the hands of black people. So the numbers suggest there's a problem.
And that's what we're not
Anytime
seeing.
13% of the country lead anything in raw numbers, that means there's a problem right there.
Okay, fam. Listen, when I said about black people and get killed in the ghetto, this is what you have to try to understand. I'm not putting down black people. I'm just trying to open up their eyes. Fam, hold on. Listen, just listen. If we already in the oppression that the white man is against us, right? Why are we against each other? The more we weak, you can't fight. And not only that, if we're already in oppression by somebody as a different race or whatever, and we turn against each other, what are we doing for each other? So now, should I hate the white man because he had us in slavery? You're gonna say yes. So now, should I hate the black man that I grew up every day and watch them kill off my friends? What should I say? No, I'm gonna give him an excuse because he's black. But the problem is, fam, the more we keep on turning against each other, is the more we keep on hurting each other. So if they're hurting us and we're hurting us, you think you can see straight? You can't see
Hmm.
straight, bro.
And
So
don't get
not
me
only
started on
that,
Planned
not only
Parenthood.
that, not only that, every single race support each other. The Chinese support each other. The Indians support each other. Black people don't support each other. Why don't we put our culture and put it in one together and start sewing back our clothes that we used to sew, that we were very slick than them back in the days when we were in our suit? We're not doing that. But guess what we're doing? We are supporting the Chinese, even though the Chinese had the Chinese supporting the Chinese. No, we're supporting the Indians, even though the Indians had the Indians support them. We're supporting every other race except ourselves. Until we start bringing that money back into ourselves, we're going to start seeing things. They don't care. All they care about is making. And we just giving. But meanwhile, we're giving, we're turning in a different way and we're wiping on each other, bro. How many times a mother is going to bury her kid? And we don't look at that? Look at the numbers compared to when a white police or a white man kill a black man right now, to the numbers that how much a black man kill a black man in their community.
Hey, I'm gonna cut you off, man. Hey, look, I'm gonna say it how it's gonna how I got the only way I can say it. Okay, you're not fighting for our freedom here in America.
You're not listening to me. In order to fight for your freedom, you have to
So I
unite.
don't know why you
Listen, in
chose to
order, you're
come
not
here.
listening.
Hold on,
You're
man.
not
No,
listening,
no,
fam.
no, no.
Listen,
I
in
am
order to
listening.
fight
I
for
heard
your freedom,
everything that you said.
you're
I
not
heard
listening.
everything that you said,
We
and that's
have
a
to
damn
stop that
shame
first, bro.
because guess what? Guess what? This topic is about Brittany, right?
All
So
right, with Brittany
what
now,
image does it look like?
bro.
Hold on,
With
man.
Brittany, I didn't
Let
even
Hold
her
want to
on,
talk.
go
man.
Let
on
her talk.
Brittany.
Let her
Hold
talk.
on.
Let her
No. Go
talk.
Hold
ahead. Go
on.
ahead. Let Cree talk real
This
quick. Go
topic
ahead.
is about Brittany. So what image does it look like, especially right now, a panel full of black men, right, making excuses, political excuses. Hell, America ain't for you. Making excuses of why we won't, we should have did this or whatever, get her back, because guess what? As I say, even when she comes back, we still gotta fight for her. She's still not gonna be free. When she comes
No.
out of
Because
the
wait.
prison,
Hold on,
she's
hold on.
still
Before
not
we
gonna
Can
be
I
hold on,
free.
stop. Let's be real about it. Brittany Griner and her kind is the biggest threat to the black male right now. Let's not sugarcoat it no more. Let's not sugarcoat it no more. the whole Black Lives Matter was Brittany Griner's. And their whole thing was to replace the black male. Brittany Griner went out and had 2 kids. 2 kids. She said she was the father of 2 kids. What the hell is that doing to the black male that I should be up here fighting for her? She's telling black women, you don't need men no more. You could come to me. Her whole image, her whole style is the black man. Her whole style, her whole image is black men. So if you really want to talk about something, Creed, this is what you need to talk about. As
Absolutely.
the Bible said this, come, let's deal wisely with them, killing the male and sparing the woman. So who do you think is really under attack right now?
The nuclear family is under attack, and I want to add something to
Look,
that too.
But who in the nuclear
look,
families and
look,
who? But wait a minute,
but look.
Creed. Who in the nuclear freedom?
Hey,
Who in the nuclear family is trying to be replaced?
The
They're not
man.
trying to place the black
but
woman.
see,
The
They
it
black
want to
doesn't
place
woman.
the
matter.
man.
It doesn't
They trying
matter.
to get rid of
No,
the black
listen.
man. They trying to get rid of
I
the black
understand.
man.
I understand. I
Creed.
understand. But
Don't get me started on
that's not
Planned
the
Parenthood.
that's not the point. The point is
What is the
she's in
point then?
prison
Why should I
in
fight
another
Creed? Wait a minute,
country,
Creed. Hold on, Creed.
right?
Tell me
And
why
she's
should
gonna
I
be in
fight for
prison
Brittany
here.
Griner when Brittany Griner is trying to
And
replace me?
it's about justice. It's
It
about
does, no, it's not
justice.
about Creed. Creed, there's black
It's
men.
about justice.
Wait a minute, Creed. Hold on, Creed. Hold on, Creed. If it's about justice,
What she was
wait a
accused
minute,
of
Creed. Creed, please be
is
quiet. Listen to
injustice.
me, Creed. Creed, listen to me.
That's it.
Creed, listen to me, though. Listen to me. If it's about justice, there's black men in jail right now here in America. Kamala Harris put them in jail that should be out for selling weed. When those
She
black
sure
men in
did.
America get out for selling weed, then we can say it's about justice. When those black
And
men
also,
who've been locked up for years in Americans' jail for selling some weed get let out of America's jail, then we could say it's about justice.
As I
Creed.
said, it's about
Creed.
justice because I agree. I
Creed.
agree.
Creed.
I agree.
justice on who? Wait, hold on. Wait, let me say something. Justice on whose part? Are you talking about our part, the United States? Are you talking about Russia? Like, who are you? I'm trying to figure out kind of where you're going as far as
So
what your overall issue is.
it's about justice as black people here in America. Okay. So when you talk about justice, it exceeds law and order.
I know,
It's
but
further
isn't the
than
U.S.
the
responsible for
confines
facilitating?
of.
Wait, hold on. But can I ask you a question? So I'm kind of confused because didn't the United States facilitate her release? Did they not facilitate her release? Huh?
Creed,
Yeah,
are you there?
well, I mean, what does that? Yeah. I mean, that's the way it went. But she's not free. That's what
Why
I'm
ain't she
saying.
free?
She's
Why
not
ain't she free?
free.
Why isn't she free? She's free.
Why is she not? Why? Hold on, no. Let me ask the question. Why is she not free now that she's here? So help me see it through kind of where you're coming from. Why do you believe she's not free, even though she's been freed and she's headed to the U.S.? What's your take on that?
So she's free. Are y'all
Yeah.
free? Oh, of course you believe that.
Creed.
Why?
Can I ask you a
Wait a minute.
question, Creed?
Creed. If we don't
What
use
made
Wait a
you
minute.
that,
Hold on.
free?
Wait,
we
wait,
can't
y'all.
fight,
Let's wait a
fam.
minute. Hold on. Everyone, chill. Let spiritual guy. The spiritual didn't talk. He wanted to say something. Go ahead and say something.
I just want to ask a question. I've been listening, and I heard Mr. Creed keep saying justice, justice, justice. And I have one question for you. Do you really expect justice in the land of your captivity? Did you forget that this is not our home? We were brought here under circumstances that wasn't meant for us to really prosper, really be cared about, really be loved or respected. Do you really think you're going to get justice in the land of your captivity?
Of course. Why not? What's holding you back?
But you, let me ask you this.
Wait a minute,
The
Creed.
people you asking justice from are the same people you mad at. The people you talking about, oh, they hate us, oh, they doing this, they doing that. And that's who you asking for justice?
I never asked. I never said anything about asking.
Well, I'm just saying, you keep saying we supposed to get justice. You want justice. I mean, you might as well wipe justice out if you believe these people enemy. These people hate us. These people doing all this to us. Justice shouldn't even be a thought in your mind. Because if you think you're gonna get justice from them people, it's never gonna happen. As the host was saying, we gotta all come together, man. Everybody. Because it's not just fluoride in black people water. It's not just chemtrails being sprayed on the black neighborhoods. And until we realize we all being poisoned, we all being unalived by the police. They don't show it on the news. But if you do some research, oh, they doing white people the same way. Mexicans the
Absolutely.
same way.
And you would never know it. And you would never know it either. You would never know it.
Speak, mama.
So they getting poisoned just like we are. But they don't know it. So if we need each other, instead of educating each other and letting us see who the real enemy is, we all got the same common enemy. Whether you white, whether you black, whether you Asian, whether you Mexican, we all getting the same stuff put in our food, in our water, getting cancer. But they got us fighting each other.
And
They
then
got us
also, let me
fighting
say
each
this
other
really
so that
quickly.
we don't look at them.
And let me just say this real quick. And let me just say this really fast. Now, Tony Timpa, he was unalived in the exact same way as George Floyd, but at least George Floyd's family got something. This guy here, not a thing. Tony Timpa, his family has not received justice to this day, and he got a knee on his neck in the same way George Floyd did. And no one even knows his name. Nobody knows.
Well, I think that's the problem. We gotta stop looking at it as this black is Tony Temple's the white George Floyd or Duncan Lamps the white Breonna Taylor. You gotta just look at it like what it is for what it is. It's humans being beat by the police. And that's what you
Yep.
gotta change the law about.
Yeah,
And
ultimately, the police have way too much authority. They have I actually talked to a former law enforcement official, and he told me that the police qualified immunity. So whether it's a white person or a black person, if something happens to the point to where they get unalive by the cops have protections to where most times they get away with it. They have police unions, they have attorneys that work within their favor. So most of the time they get away. They get away.
but I'm gonna also say this, and it's gonna make some people mad. You gotta put responsibility on some of these people. You're putting yourself in these positions. So, like, what happened to George Floyd shouldn't have happened to George Floyd. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, you shouldn't be doing drugs in public. I mean, that's the bottom line. So, this stuff is always going to happen, even under the most fair system. It's always going to happen because until people take personal responsibility. So, if you run out here and because like it or not, police have the right to defend themselves. They have the right to go home to their families. And I'm not taking up for police, but police have the same right as all of us to go home to their families. So if it comes to my life and your life and you pull out a gun and you look like you're about to shoot that gun and I feel like I got a second on you, you're about to lose your life. Because I have the right, I don't have the right, I have a duty to my children, to my wife to come home. You gave up your duty and your right when you decided you wanted to be a criminal. So I'm
But
not going to
Fran,
give up my life because I want some community to help me as a hero. And this is real talk. And black people and white people and Hispanics and Asians, you all feel the same damn way. You're not about to just give up your life. The first law of human nature is to protect your life. So if I feel my life is in danger, like Ice Cube said, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. So,
George Floyd thing though, I see it in a different perspective. I think that shit was just personal. I think it wasn't even white or black or nothing. Because these men know each other. And if you see
Mm-hmm.
a friend did something wrong and you come and you see him, you're gonna really treat him like that, especially you know him and you work with him.
Well, here's
That
the
shit
thing
was
about the George
personal,
Floyd
fam.
situation. The doctor said if it wasn't for the video, now this is a doctor. Now you got to understand, fentanyl killed more people in San Francisco than COVID.
Hey,
Absolutely.
George Floyd had
I'm about to drop. I'm
okay,
about to
drop.
drop, but yeah.
Okay, George Floyd had more than the lethal dose of fentanyl. Fentanyl is a dangerous
Mm,
drug.
absolutely. You
It's
could die touching it. You can die
right
touching it. That's how poisonous it is.
now. The doctor said that if it wasn't for the knee on the neck, you seeing it on video, they would have ruled it a overdose. It was just you seeing it on video.
I think
So
that near his neck that makes his heart race even faster.
Hmm.
That's messed up, man. But the thing is, at the end of the day, fam, you see, things we as people have to unite, or else nothing will ever change. The more we separate ourselves, is the more we're gonna always keep going at each other. We as people have to stop separating ourselves. This white and this black and Indian people now say they're brown and they didn't. Well, we're people. We're human beings, man. If we don't see that, it doesn't matter how much we try to sit and try to fix the situation. It always gonna be the same. As long as we start seeing each other as different race and culture, no, we're people, man. If we don't let go hate, hate will never go away. They said if
wait
you
a minute.
start a fire
Go ahead.
and you
Hmm.
keep pouring oil and it's just gonna keep blazing, when are we gonna throw the water on it? This will never change. This is a cycle now. The more we continue portion hate and hate and hate, nothing will ever change. We're gonna
You
sit
next.
here 20 years talking about the same thing.
Hold on. No, no face. You want to say something, or because other people want to come in if you don't want to say
But
something.
anyways, guys,
No,
have a good night.
yeah, yes, sir, I did. I appreciate you letting me on. I was going off of what like the things that Creed was saying before he decided to drop out the box. But like going back to about the exchange, that the one thing I've been thinking about the whole time I've been watching it live. You know, he said a comment about during the exchange, so what he would have been able to do once he got back to Russia, and I'm speaking of the terrorists that we gave away. You know, what power would he have when he got back? In my opinion, I mean, no matter what, he had connections before he went. What would make you think that his ties would have ended just like that? You don't think that he would have, you know, people of power that still supported him, that he would be able to get back to the same things that he was doing before, putting more Americans' lives in danger? And that's just what I wanted to say. I just thought that there was a lot more to that. I feel like it's not easy to say that he wouldn't be able to go back and continue what he was doing before. You know, no matter if it was after 7 years later or now, his power could have remained the same. And
Well,
that's
that's a good point because there's a reason why Russia wanted him back.
exactly 100%. I mean, they knew he is a very valuable person. I mean, he obviously had the smarts to do everything that he did, selling all of these weapons to put Americans in harm's way. I mean, it's not okay for American DEA agents that are trying to make the country better, get rid of drugs and help these things, that they're going to be targeted and have that, AKs pointed at their back when they already have to deal with what's coming at the front. And, it's just worrisome that we're just it's so simple to throw that back into the world and just and not know at all what the repercussions can be.
Right. That we had someone on here saying that like he was wanted in different states, different other countries. But the
Yeah,
fact is,
he's wanted in 100 different countries, throughout the world. I mean, he is wanted everywhere. He has worked for the cartels. He has worked for, obviously, the Ukraine and, Russia and those places like that. He has sold weapons to, you know, huge organizations all over the world. I mean, he has a huge target on his back, but I feel like he has too much protection. I mean, this was a perfect way for them to get one of their main guys back and just be like, look, this is a slap in the face to us. Because I mean, no offense to Brittany in any way, shape, or form, but I don't believe we got what the return should have been for somebody of that caliber. I mean, no matter what the situation or who the person was, race or whatever, it, we got a bad end of the deal. They got a mass murderer and someone that is facilitating gun running, and we got back a basketball star. It just, to me, it doesn't make sense on the whole world outlook.
Yeah, if you even look at the timing of it, why would they want him back and they're in the middle of a war? Like,
Exactly. They're it's
right,
all a stunt for them to get. It's going to give them more power. They're going to get
right,
more weapons. I mean, this gentleman was able to get anti-air missiles. Like a normal person that grew up a normal person, and you're able to get your hands on something that only military should be able to obtain. That's very scary and frightening that we just let that just walk on out.
right. Even though they like say he was going to get out in 7 years, but it is the crimes don't match. That's my whole point. The crimes don't match.
Exactly. In no way, shape, or form. I mean, people's lives were in danger. In Brittany's situation, there was nobody's life in danger. I mean, this man
Mm-hmm.
has killed and facilitated multiple murders and weapons to create murder and mass genocide, and he gets to walk free back into his country, his homeland, and he gets to just pretty much his freedoms are he has everything that he left with before he has now.
Right.
You know what's so funny though? You know what's real
Bruh,
funny?
bruh,
I'm gonna say
bruh,
this real fast.
Wait,
You know
wait,
what's
wait,
bruh.
wait.
you
Can I
know
say something about that though?
hold on.
Okay, okay, my
No, go
bad.
ahead, go ahead. No, go ahead,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, I was just gonna say,
Okay, okay.
never mind. I'm gonna mute.
Go ahead, Vaz. Vaz, go ahead. No face, come back on.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
But yeah, man, I mean, it's just very frightening to think of that, that's what we're exchanging for. Because I mean, what's the next exchange? I mean, are we going to give up two of the most worst people that we can think of, that we can come up with to get something not, in my opinion, in the same worthiness? Like, we're giving away someone that is a horrible person to get back somebody that was put in jail for marijuana. I mean, it's two crimes that don't add up, and they never will. I mean, the severity of murder compared to having cannabis possession it's null and void. It just doesn't make sense.
Like I said, like
So
even like if you would have got the school teacher, and I mean, look, you had to make it look like we got more than what we really got. And if you
Exactly.
just look at it on face value, that's like trading, like someone said, that's like trading Stephen Curry to the Boston Celtics for their worst player.
Exactly. I mean, it just
so can
doesn't.
I,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. The
so
real.
no, I was going to say this real quick. Now, there is a point that a lot of people didn't catch that the host brought up in the beginning, which I thought I was the only person who knew this. But Victor Bout, right, this arms dealer, his life was it's not necessarily based on his life, but the events are based around him. There's a movie called Lord of War with Nicolas Cage, right, and in it follows this arms dealer. So anyway, if you look at the end of the movie, right? Spoiler alert. His character gets caught by Interpol, but in the
Mhm.
end, what he says is that, look, yo, I know you caught me, you're a good guy and everything, but I'm going to be released by your own government, by the United States government. And the United States government, in the end, facilitated his release in the same manner that we, the United States government, facilitated his release uh, you know, into the hands of Russian authorities. And I think ultimately, this guy who's going to be released is going to be dealing arms, right? But he's
Mhm.
going to be working with countries who make money under the table, right? You have because most of the weapons contractors and defense contractors and people who make weapons, a lot of those companies are based out of Germany and based out of the United States. So I think
Of course.
with these guys, it's really all about money at the end of the day, really. He never should have been released, but like I said, the people at the very top who control all of this stuff, they don't care. They don't care.
No.
I mean, I completely understand it. It is in a way a numbers game. I can understand where the money comes into play, but someone of this guy's caliber, I mean, I think it's a little bit more than money. I think that he genuinely enjoys not only creating chaos but creating facilitating people to kill people. I feel like there's more to it than just money. I feel like this guy has a sick obsession. This is what was drilled into his head maybe as a child that stray him into what it is now. But I think we have to look at it, as you said, at face value. This guy is not just a normal run of the day Joe Smo. And I feel like he gets his kicks off of being able to destroy countries. I mean, you can give a toddler a handgun, but you already know that it's going to end completely not the way you want it to. And I mean, I feel like that's the way he handles his business, is that he's putting weapons in the hands of countries that don't necessarily know how to use those weapons properly, and that are going to be aimed at countries and people that have no business being involved with them. Is just how I look at it. I feel like he has sick obsessions with hurting people is the main thing. I mean, money is probably involved, yes, but he has underlining problems that make this fun for him.
But
Yeah,
one thing I
so
want to say. Wait a minute, hold on. One thing I want to say is this is not black privilege, because if I was over there, I would not be getting released for that orange dealer. This has more to do with her status in America than it does to do her skin color. Because if you was the
100%.
average white person, average black person, whatever average color you was, they're not releasing you for that orange dealer.
yeah,
No,
what
100% not at all.
why
And,
is it that
and
why is it that white people, like, every time they accuse us, the blacks, I'm from Africa, Southern Africa, you accuse us of being anti-American. Why is it that even Obama was accused of being a pharaoh or a Muslim or something, a terrorist? Why is it that you don't accuse Trump of being anti-American? You ignore all that shit. But when it's black person,
Wait a minute.
anything
Trump
with
is
black,
accused of being a terrorist. They
he's
are accused.
saying, look,
They are
they are
accusing
saying,
Trump of being a terrorist.
no, I'm saying they are not accusing Trump, but they are used to accuse Obama, or just because of his
Obama was a
name.
terrorist.
They are used to accuse him, say Hussein, comparing him to Saddam Hussein. They accuse him of being Muslim and things like that. And then even Meghan, the new movie with Harry, they're accusing her.
Wait. Hold
Everything
on, hold on.
black.
Wait a
This
minute.
is
Let me
evil.
stop you. Every president, go look at every president from Ronald Reagan all the way up to Trump. You can see a picture of them in a uniform being accused of being Hitler. So it's not something that is just American politics is just like that.
I live in Delaware. I'm an American too. And I'm a nurse, but I see a pattern. I was born in South Africa. But I see America is very bad. What you guys do to black people, we don't even want you in Africa
No.
anymore.
In
No, but I see a
politics,
pattern.
no. Wait. In politics, it has more to do with the party you're representing than it
Okay, let
does your
me say
skin
something.
color.
I don't want to spend time. They accused George Floyd, they blamed him for his death. But Kyle Rittenhouse
Who did they
was a
accuse?
savior.
Who did they accuse?
Listen to me carefully. When it was Kyle Rittenhouse shooting somebody, he was a hero. They rewarded
Who?
him. When
Who are
it
we
was
talking
George
about?
Zimmerman killing Trayvon Martin, they treated him holy. They even funded him to defend against being prosecuted for the murder of Trayvon Martin. When it's George Floyd, they also blamed him for saying he's a thief. He had fentanyl. They don't focus on the truth. And I am tired of this shit. I'm telling you, we Africans, that's why we are going back home. We are tired of you guys. We can't wait to see your four of Babylon.
Hold on, hold on. You're from South Africa.
Four of Babylon. We are looking
You're
forward
from
to that.
South Africa, right?
Yes, but I live in America and I'm an American, but
Hold
we
on,
are tired of you people.
wait. South
We are
Africa
tired.
is no better than America. You're
Yes,
treated
we
better in
know,
South.
but
Wait a
we
minute.
don't know.
Hold on. Wait. You're being emotional. You're treated way better in America than your own homeland. You're like 90% of the people being ruled by 10% of the people. There's places in South Africa you can't even go.
I think you have mental slavery yourself. You are affected by
No,
the
I'm telling
system
the
in this
truth.
country.
There's
Yes.
places in South
Okay.
Africa that black
Okay.
people
Good
are not
luck.
allowed.
Good luck with everything in America. Good
Okay,
luck.
but that's the
You guys,
truth.
you should love
That's the
yourselves.
truth.
You black people need to defend yourselves.
Hold
There's
on,
so
hold
much
on, hold
hate.
on.
Wait before
So
you
much
go.
hate
Wait
against
before you
black
go.
people.
Hold on, sister. Wait before you go.
Yes.
Black people in America
You
have a
should be
different
happy
problem.
she's home.
Hold on. Listen to me. We have a different problem from y'all in South Africa. Now listen again. These are the numbers. We're 13% of the population And if you want to say we're fighting 70% of the population, you're 90% of the population fighting 10% of the population. Malcolm said, you're a big elephant scared of a little mouse.
Do you know
So,
that there are a lot of people
but
in history?
wait, listen to me, because this is the problem. When Africans don't understand.
We
The
do.
problem, wait a minute, let me explain this. The problem with the African diaspora is for blacks in Brazil, for blacks in America, for blacks in the Dominica, for blacks in the Haitians, for blacks in the Caribbean, for blacks in France and in England, Africa. Y'all's refusal to unite
Because
is
you
the
are blaming
source
me
of
right now.
everyone's problem. Your
I'm happy
refusal. Wait
my
a minute.
sister is back.
Listen to
I'm
me,
happy
sister.
my
Listen,
sister behind your head is back.
listen.
I'm happy. I'm an African. I'm happy she's back. I don't care
Sister,
what she did.
listen to me.
I'm
I'll let
happy
you
she's
talk.
back. She's
I'll let
my
you talk.
people. She's
I'll
my
let you
people.
talk.
She's back.
I'll let you talk.
I
I'll
don't
let you
care
talk.
she's lesbian or not, but I like her. She's back. She's my people. Her
What?
suffering is my suffering. Her faith is my
Wait a
faith.
minute,
The way she's treated is the way I'm treated. I'm sorry. I love
Wait a
her.
minute,
She's
sister.
back.
Wait a minute, sister.
Welcome back to America, Brittany.
Okay, wait a minute, sister.
Yeah.
The problem, listen to me and listen to me well.
Yes.
The problem with all the blacks in the diaspora is Africa's refusal to unite. Y'all's
I'm
refusal to
uniting. I
unite
see the
with each
hate.
other is
I
the
see the
lead
hate.
cause of our problems.
I'm tired of it. Why is it that all the black white people have ganged up against her? Nobody's saying no, it's good thing she's back. What's wrong with that? Why is it that every time it's a
Because you're
black
not
person, they
listening,
blame them?
sister. You're not
This
listening.
is
You're not
bad.
listening.
I don't
You're
want
not
to listen
listening.
because I'm tired of the hate. Even my neighbors, even my own patients in this country, as long as we wear a black skin, we are hated all over the world, whether you like it or not. These people don't see reality. They focus on the black skin of that girl. She's back home to America. I am happy for her. I don't care what she did, but she's my people. She
No,
is my
but
people.
sister.
Yes. If
If she
white people
was
wanna
your
wage war
people,
against black people, we're
because
gonna
I
go
gotta
to
move on.
war. I'm
I gotta
sorry, I
move
gotta
on.
go.
Okay, bye. But
Yeah,
bye.
that's
Okay, goodbye.
crazy.
Goodbye.
They're blaming.
Anyway, let's get back to Brittany Griner. I don't know what the hell we got into that for. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh
Back to Brittany
man,
Griner. Wait a
she wa-
minute. Let
she
Bill
wasn't.
family. You got something that you trying to speak now?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
she wasn't paying attention to what you guys were even talking about. She came
Right.
here talking about she's happy because she's home. That she, you guys never said you weren't happy that she's home. You guys were talking about something totally different. You know what I'm saying? She came in here like, like like you guys
Some
were trying to say that like you guys are against her coming back and this and that and da 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 da. When you guys were talking about something totally different, man.
I mean,
right.
we're just discussing, the arms dealer and the things that we got an ill deal in the whole situation. I think that spending too much time. I mean, I don't care what color Brittany was. Brittany could have been white, Chinese. It doesn't matter to me. The fact of the matter is that what we
What?
gave up to get back just wasn't enough, in my opinion. I mean, it
Five,
didn't equal.
5466. Mute yourself. You're echoing right now. Go ahead, no face. She was echoing. Go back.
Okay, but yeah, no, I mean, I think that we need to stop looking at it as it's a black thing. Like that she we focused on that she's a black woman or a black man, whatever she wants to categorize herself as. But we got to stop looking at it like that. We have to look at it as America as a whole got a bad deal. We gave up a horrible person to get somebody back that was in jail for marijuana possession. There's no equal to that. I mean, we can't justify that in any way, shape, or form. We it was a horrible deal all around, and I feel like we should have fought a little bit harder. I mean, I understand 296 days if I'm correct with the days that she spent. It was about 9 months. I understand that that's a long time, but I mean, I myself I've been locked up for marijuana possession, and I did over 9 months, but no one fought for me. No one pressured the judge to get me out of jail. I mean, it just doesn't seem right. It just doesn't seem fair that we put in all of our eggs into this one basket when we could have saved multiple people.
I agree with you because the way that the people who was fighting for her freedom was building this was like, forget the fact that she did a crime. It's she's black, she's gay, she's a woman. That's why she's in there. And
Exactly.
now they're using that same excuse as, well, y'all either you're a racist, you're a sexist, or you're a homophobe, and they're not looking at the deal. And that's
Exactly.
what everyone is. Most of the people are focused on the deal. It's not like, okay, you got her back, but you did wait. What cost did you get her back at?
Yeah,
The
we gave away a monster to get back in, a WNBA star. I mean, we could have, in my opinion, for what we gave away, we could have gotten at least six people back of importance. And I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I don't know how this stuff works. I mean, I'm 28 years old. I'm not a seasoned vet. I'm still learning. I'm still wet behind the ears, but I have enough sense to know that we made a absolute horrible decision, and we should have, as a country, we weren't even, in my opinion, we weren't brought into it. Our opinion doesn't matter. As the puppet masters were using their puppets to do their job, they let happen what happened. And I feel like no matter us as us as people, as Americans, no matter what we said, it wouldn't have mattered because we're not in charge. We have no authority. I mean, yes, we can try to take that authority, we can try to assert it, but that doesn't mean that the puppet masters in charge already don't have a plan for the next step that we may try and do. And that's my outlook on it. It may be wrong, it may be, but that's just how I feel about it.
see, and the reason they want you to fight over her claiming her sexuality and that is to divert your attention off of what they did in return. Okay. Now, the reason I believe they let him back out is because they need somebody to do their dirty work. You understand? America needs people to do their dirty work. And that's the thing, that's the thing with him. It wasn't that they don't care what he's done or his past life. They need somebody to do that dirty work for them. You know, it's been years that they have left our artillery and our stuff lay around in other countries. They need somebody to do the dirty work to move that stuff around. And what they're doing is they're diverting your attention away from the deal that they made by having people argue and confront people over her sexuality, her color, and stuff like that. That's what it is.
But you know what? That's a good point. But here's another point on top of that. What is Americans going to say when the guns that he deals get back into America and start into the hands of Americans and start killing Americans?
Then they're gonna blame them. You know what I'm saying? When
Right.
actually it's their fault. Just like
And then in my opinion, that'll be another way for them to say that's white on white crime, black on black crime, knowing that we, as the white and the blacks and all of Americans, we didn't possess these guns before they got brought here. You know what I'm saying? They're being shipped in by the crate loads and being handed out like they're souvenirs, and of course people are going to get their hands on them. I mean, and just from a 28-year-old's point of view, if I was given an AK-47 and he's like, here, take this. I mean, I can handle a gun, but my thing is I'm gonna take it. It's a free weapon. You know what I'm saying? It's not everybody's gonna think like that, but it's just the reality that we live in. People enjoy creating chaos. So I mean, if it can happen, it's gonna happen,
But
regardless.
like you said, but here's you got a bunch of unemotional, emotionally people who are not emotionally stable with guns. So they
Exactly.
getting upset at the littlest thing. We seeing it in road rage. Like I something happens in a road rage, and you could just drive off, and people pulling out guns, shooting each other, and because people are emotionally not emotionally stable, and you're putting guns in these people's hands. Most of these crimes, people say, is because of poverty, because of proximity. Most of these crimes are coming because somebody who is not emotionally stable has a gun, and at
I
that
agree.
moment they like it. I'm not saying they're mentally ill, but I'm just saying they can't handle having a gun. So normally if we just playing cracking jokes and I say something crazy to you, If you don't got a gun, you will let it go. But because you got a gun, you're gonna pull it out and shoot me all over a joke?
Exactly. And you see it, in every single race throughout the United States, no matter what. I mean, an argument can be over anything, a female, a basketball game, and
Right.
someone can lose their life in a second. And people don't realize that that is something that we need to pay attention to. Why are we not putting higher restrictions? And I mean, of course people are going to still be able to attain weapons. That's the way it is. I mean, it's always the way it has been. But I mean, you can also make it harder for the people that do have, mental illnesses, that you can wipe that away. You can put harder things, in my opinion, to make it a little bit, harder to get weapons to people like that.
But I'm not talking about mentally illness. I'm talking about you're putting the hand gun. It's easy for kids to get guns.
Oh,
These are like
exactly. Yeah.
15-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 16-year. These are people who are not really able to make decisions like that. And now you
Yeah.
give them a gun. I mean, these are not
What
mature kids. We done seen kids just, I done seen people fight working in juvenile hall. I seen a kid get mad because he got the wrong color popsicle. If that kid would have had a gun that day, he would have shot everybody in that room.
yeah,
I can,
what
yeah, I can understand
I'm
that.
trying to say is when he means not mentally stable, what he's trying to say is their mind isn't mature enough to make the decision when and when not to use that force.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
No, I get that now. It was a little bit of miscommunication on my part. I took that wrong, but I understand
See,
now.
the thing is like this with me. Um, when that woman jumped in and she's talking about South Africa, this that. What God was saying is true. There's parts of Africa that you like. Their own people won't even go in, and their own military is the one that's killing a lot of them. And it's just like over here we have the same problems. And like when you guys were talking earlier about the Black Lives Matter thing, that whole situation right there is like it's just a diversion once again for you guys to blame somebody else for whatever it is, and when all actuality is we're not taking self accountability as people for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And it's true that we don't hold each other accountable for killing each other. You know what I'm saying? And when we should, because it's like this: if we turn it into a racial thing, that's what they want. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? They want us to turn against each other as a racial thing. When really it's browns killing browns, it's blacks killing blacks, it's browns killing blacks, it's white killing browns, it's everything. You know what I'm saying? It's not just one culture that's doing it. But in the same time, it's true like we need to band together, you know what I'm saying, and unite. And it's not gonna happen because what's gonna happen is the news only shows you what they want to show you. They're only going to show you a white guy killing a black guy or something like that just to keep you in that mentality, in that mind state that it's one race doing it to another one. It's not. We're doing it to each other. And until we value each other, they're not going to value us. You know what I'm saying? How's somebody going to value your life when you don't even value your life? You know?
Exactly.
And
I don't mean cut y'all. Let Road Reg, you want to say something?
Yeah, hey guys, I've been on here for a good while, and I commend a bunch of you guys for some of the things you're bringing up, and kind of coming off of what No Face and Fam is talking about with the Brittany Griner thing. It's kind of when you were talking about the BLM stuff going on, she was bashing the United States. She was hating the United States, and this country sucks and all this stuff, and we bring her back like you guys are saying for this Russian terrorist. Like you said, like No Face said, it was not a fair trade on that aspect of it, which I agree. Granted, like you said, you kind of, I think originally you said you do the crime, you do the time type of thing, and like you said, other countries may have certain laws that shouldn't be overlooked because you're coming from United States or you're coming from Canada or China or wherever you come from. You got to, like you said, know the laws before you come in there. Just to get off of that right quick, and I think originally you guys were talking. I know Creed was kind of off his rocker a little bit on some things, with this. With you guys are talking about the black on black or whatever, the police brutality, which I'm not a big fan of all that stuff. Some things that I feel that their tactics can be a little bit less aggressive, where to be, using taser if they have to use any kind of lethal force. There's been a lot of things that you've seen on the internet with some of these other fellas that were killed. The gentleman, I can't think of his name, but he's the one that got shot in the back 7 times by being called out at I think it was a girlfriend's party with 2 cops. I think those 2 guys could have tackled this guy because he wasn't running; he was walking to his car, and I think they could have done something different in that aspect.
Like
A
what?
lot of
Like
things
what?
that, well, they could have tackled him. They didn't have to shoot him. I mean, because the guy was wrestling those guys down behind the car, and then when he got away from him, I think he might have even been tased. I'm not sure. I just
Who
was
are we
listening to a
talking
lot of
about?
this.
I never heard of that one.
This is one that was after George Floyd or around the same time.
He
There was
Oh,
a
you
talking about
talking
buddy
about
who was
Rashard
out
Brooks?
there with in the car, had the knife
yeah,
on the floor in the car. That's what he
yes,
talking about.
Rashard
yes,
Brooks? They did
yeah.
try to wrestle him down and tase him.
It did. It did.
He
And when
was
he got
fighting. He was
away,
fighting a cop on the other side of the car. He was fighting with them. They were on the ground fighting.
Yeah, the
yes,
reason he
yes. And then
shot
when
him
he
Here's
was
the thing.
because the reason
You
that
all
cop
you
shot him was because they said he was trying to kidnap them kids. Those wasn't his kids.
oh,
you
Yeah.
always
see,
got
I didn't
somebody
see.
saying they should be. You're always going to find somebody saying that they should be nicer than somebody who ain't doing it. So that you're always going to find that. Or just arrest them in a nice way. You're
Yeah,
always going to find that. I don't know why. I don't know why that's a thing. But they're like, oh, it doesn't matter that he's there. He's got a restraining order. He beat this
right.
person up. You should arrest him in a nice way. Now, come on, man. That's
Yeah,
nonsense.
yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, there was some things that was a little off the bar with that. Now, the thing with I think Creed was talking about earlier about how that I think it was with he didn't want to really admit that how the like originally you were talking about the inner cities and how we're doing everything to ourselves. I have a mixed grandson, and I preach to him that there's good and bad in every race in this country, whether they be Mexican, white, Asian, black, yellow, purple, whatever you want to call it. And you got to take it that way because there's not one good race. There's better people than me. And I tell them there's going to be somebody better than you, whether it be Asian or Mexican or black or white, that has gone and done a better life for themselves and is better than you. That just means that they're doing something in the right way. Okay. And then everybody has an opportunity to do the right thing and do the right and be the right person in society. And I think that's where we miss a lot of things is that some people, or not some people, but we have issues in our country that not everybody's on, coming together and doing things. But I praise all these other people and other races that are better and owning their own businesses. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not offended by any of that. I went to public school. My family couldn't afford to put me in any kind of crazy private school where it was all white school. I got all kind of different friends of different races, and so I'm not opposed to any of that. I don't have no racism in my body because I've been around so many of different races in my life between, since I was 7 years old going into elementary school. I've always been into a public school system where there's mixed relations and mixed races in there. I have friends of all kinds. Um, but I think a lot of this stuff comes that like you said originally, we got to come together in some kind of way, and we got to stop pointing a finger at people where we're saying, "Hey, this man's holding me down." No, we're only holding ourselves down. It's not this man or that woman or that race or this race. We're holding ourselves down if we allow it, and we're
Okay,
the only ones that can make that change.
all right. Let Kobe speak.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just to the point that he was making, you're always going to have somebody who's claiming to be a victim of something. You know that this person's doing that, this person's doing that. It's almost like the kid who says, like, teacher doesn't like me. You ever notice how, like, the kid who has like all A's never says teacher doesn't like me? So when someone isn't getting ahead, they aren't getting the things that they want, they're failing at something, whatever the case may be, they use that as a tactic.
They
So it's
need
like, I'm not getting to play. The coach doesn't like me. So why did he pick you not to like? It's only a talking point. So I think that I was in a live earlier with some people who were talking about the Brittany Griner situation, and so many people are coming at it from us. I guess I would say like they don't really care to be informed on the matter. It's more so to say that she checks off certain boxes. She's
Well,
black.
but
She's
I'm
she's
gonna
uh,
cut you
she's
off, Kobe.
LGBT.
But ain't that how politics has been played lately? It doesn't
No,
matter
it
what
is.
they're
It is
saying. It just matters if
absolutely,
you check
absolutely.
certain boxes.
that's how
That that's it, and that's the reason why the move was made in the beginning. So I mean, you have the Biden administration. Basically, what they're doing is they're looking to secure additional votes, right? And I'm
Right.
not saying that they're wrong because that's a personal thing for them. They're looking to secure additional votes. It's not that Joe Biden was like, oh, I watched a lot of Brittany Griner games for the Mercury. We know that that's not. We know that that is literally not the case, right?
Right.
But there's a lot of people here who are locked up for drugs, right? There's
I
people
said
who
that
are locked
earlier.
up for, and nobody. I see people who are posting about it like they're happy about it, who have family members who are locked up for drugs.
For
They're like,
weed.
well, I'm,
For
I'm glad
weed.
Brittany
Not
Griner's out
drugs, for weed. For selling weed.
for weed, exactly for weed. But they're like, I'm glad Brittany Griner's out. It's a fake outrage. That's what it is. It's not real. It's not real. People want to feel attached to something based on political purpose. That's what I think.
And to that point, you got governors like Governor Newsom's saying that Brittany Griner needs to come home. And in your state, in California, right
Exactly.
now, you have people who was put in jail by the vice president for
Hmm.
weed.
Yep.
You ain't letting them out.
Hmm. They ain't letting them
yeah
out.
that's
And here's the thing: they're not even going to consider it. It's not
No,
even like it's something of consideration.
no.
They just keep them in
see
there. It's free labor or
Yeah,
cheap labor.
Right.
And one of the things is like this. I was locked up for that same thing. Okay, I did a year and a half. Okay, now what they're trying to make you believe is, and what they're trying to do is, they're almost trying to make it seem like, they're trying to put her in the rankings as like a political prisoner. You know what I'm saying? Which isn't nowhere near the same. And Wedge, to correct you, nobody is better than anybody. It's just they have a higher mentality set on their goals in life. You know what I'm
Agree.
saying?
Agree.
And people don't set their mindset as a mentality of doing better and having better things because they're not surrounding themselves with people like that. You know? And
Hello, you still
Hello, you
talking?
still talking? The whole
The
thing
whole
is
thing
that
is that
Go
I
ahead.
gotta jump out. Hold on.
No, that wasn't you. That wasn't you. Go ahead. It wasn't you.
No, it's because I'm getting a lot of feedback, but
Go
um
ahead. You jumped up.
uh the thing is this.
Okay, I want to make sure everybody can hear me.
Yeah, hold on. Someone's talking right now. I'll get you in a minute. Go
No
go
problem.
ahead.
I'll just
uh
make sure my sound was good.
Okay, you're good.
they they want you to believe that that she's up there with political prisoners and that. Right now, I have a friend who actually was targeted because of his religion and his status in the community. Okay, he was locked up for 4 years prior to him being charged. All right,
all right.
and when
And
he got
when he got
charged, they
charged,
finally
they
gave him
finally
eight
gave him
years.
8 years.
Hold on, wait a
But
minute.
then,
Hold on 1 second. Latina, that's you're echoing. Okay, yeah, go on mute till you want to till he gets done talking. Go ahead, family.
and they actually charged him with 8 years. Now they gave him, um, they charged him with 8 years, but they gave him four years for time served, and they gave him a year and a half for good time. So he'll be coming home next year. Um, but there's people that are locked up that are really political prisoners. Look at look at Shakur. Okay, Mr. Shakur, Dr. Shakur. He's
And Donald, mute yourself till you want to talk, because we can hear your TV. Go ahead, family. You were saying about Shakur? I guess he left. Go ahead, Latina. You want to talk? It's your turn.
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
My only question is, I've been listening to everybody and talking about the Brittany Griner and her release and everything, and how the deal was kind of lopsided because we got a war criminal in the trade. You know, war criminal went back to Russia, and we got Brittany Griner. I haven't heard one person mention about the Marine that's still there, that's been there for the last 4 years.
Donald Trump
How
let him
come
go.
he wasn't brought back with her? Because the
Ru-
whole thing, it was a whole political move to bring her back to, one, garner, this whole appreciation that they finally let her out after so many months of being in prison. And yet this was one giant political stunt. And everybody's saying that, okay, there's people in jail right now for lesser crimes of, marijuana and everything else. But let's remember one thing. And I didn't vote for the guy, but the American people voted for both those two idiots up there that y'all seem to be complaining about, that put these people in jail.
Donald Trump. He was
No,
in
we're not
power
talking
when
about
Paul.
Donald. No. We're not going to be talking about Donald Trump. We're
No,
talking
the
about
Paul,
the
but
people
the
that are sitting
Marine,
there right
but the
now
Marine
that put
went to
all these other
prison
people in jail
during
for
Wait,
Donald
wait,
Trump.
wait,
marijuana.
wait, wait, wait. I think he's trying to say something about the Marine, but you got to turn down that background noise. Turn down that background noise.
That's not mine. That's hers.
Okay, go.
Well, the Marine was jailed in 2018 when Donald Trump was president. He was a freelance spy. He was selling secrets to the highest bidder. Those are facts. Those are actual facts. Donald Trump did not get him out. He during Donald Trump's presidency, Trevor Reed was also in prison. He did not get him out either. Donald Trump gave up Maria Butina, the lady that was charged with spying in the U.S., gave her up for nothing, gave her back to Russia with no swap. Why didn't he bring back Paul Whelan and Trevor Reed? Those are facts. That's actual facts. And Joe Biden asked Putin and Russia to trade Paul Whelan for the Merchant of Death. Putin said no.
That's a lie.
Putin does not want to release Paul Whelan, the Marine. The Marine is also a Canadian born that was dishonorable discharge from the Marines for stealing money from the Marines. Those are facts. You can Google that right away.
That is
And
true, but that's true, but what was I gonna say? So you said Donald. Why didn't Donald Trump give up the Merchant of Death?
he gave up someone even worse. He gave up Maria Butina, that was also convicted in the U.S. for spying. She was in our she, she
not
was in
killing
our
people.
country. She was in our country spying, in the U.S. spying, inside the U.S. The Merchant of Death got caught selling weapons. The U.S. sells weapons to other countries.
Uh,
All right, go, Donald. I can hear it in your voice. You got something you want to say. Go ahead.
it's insane how they go straight to race. Drop the race
Who
card
said anything about race, though?
and drop the Donald Trump card.
That is Donald
The
Trump,
fact
though.
is, just
He's a
this
fucking
girl
idiot.
knew before she got on the plane that she was not supposed to bring drugs to Russia, and she did it anyway. Now, as for the Marine, yes, he got locked up in 2018 during the Donald Trump administration. We don't know fully on why
He
he
was
was not.
spying.
He was not spying. He
Yes,
got
he was. Those
locked.
are
He got
facts.
locked up because he went over to his family's wedding, and the Russian organization said that he was a spy. Now, what he was just saying when it came to being the girl that he did trade, spy over
He
Merchant of
doesn't
Death.
read. Those are actual facts. And the Merchant of Death was given his nickname by a British tabloid, not by
Because he
America.
supplies weapons to terrorists and foreign governments that
So do
help
we.
protect the United
So
But
States
does the
that's not the
citizens.
U.S.
point. That's not
So
the point.
okay,
It
but
doesn't matter
okay.
what
So
era. It
here,
doesn't
here,
really matter what
here
era
goes a
it
fact. Here
is.
goes a fact.
And no,
The
no, no. We're
Merchant of
not
Death.
talking about the
The
Trump
Merchant
facts or
of
anything
Death.
else. But that's not
The
the
Merchant
point.
of
Drop
Death
the
was
Trump card. Drop the Trump card.
he.
Drop it.
Okay,
I mean,
so
So
my
he.
God, is
did.
that the only thing
So
anybody
okay.
ever talks about?
Okay, so here
It's
goes this.
true.
The Merchant of Death was giving 25 years in prison. He's already done 10. In federal prison, you only do 85% of your time. So he was getting out in 15, 5 years. He was getting out in 5 years anyways.
But
I
you
So
wish
what?
y'all
traded
make
him
up your
for
mind. Is it
NBA.
5 or 7? Because y'all keep changing the number. Is it
I'm not
5 or
changing the numbers.
7?
I'm
I
not
mean,
changing the
not
numbers.
you, but everybody who comes on here. He was
Well,
getting out in seven
these are
years. They're
facts.
getting out in 5.
Well, these are facts though.
Make
He
it
was
y'all
given a
story
20.
right.
They're
He
not
was never.
facts.
He was getting out of prison. He got 25-year sentence. It's 85% of your time in federal prison. That's 15 years. He's already done 10.
Yes, but the point is what
There
he's
is no
done.
point. Those are facts.
Yeah, there is a point.
Okay, hold on. Here's the thing. He's wanted in 100 countries.
So he's not ever
Exactly.
leaving Russia again.
No,
Okay,
not
but wait. Let's look at this swap. They're not equal.
An
It's not
American
an
is an
equal swap.
American. American is an American. An
No,
I'm
it's
American is an
gonna
not.
be
American.
No,
rough.
it's
Yes,
not.
the
That you
fuck it
can't
Can
say.
I be
is.
Wait a minute.
rough here?
Okay. Hold on. Let's look at this like we're two
What?
NBA teams. I got
Okay,
Steph Curry.
but
You
that's
got
not
some
how.
player
But that's
that I don't
geopolitics,
even
bro.
know.
I get
Would
it.
you trade Steph Curry for the 12th man on the bench?
No.
That's basketball, though. We're
Nope.
talking about people's life
No,
in
no, because we're
Russia.
talking
It's
about
the
abilities. This is a man who was wanted in 100 countries, responsible for millions of deaths or a number of deaths.
So is he going
We're
to be
going to
able to leave?
trade her
So
for
is he?
someone who just brung
So
some, who's
so is
wanted
he
for
going to
some
be?
weed.
Is he going to be able to
he's
leave
already
Russia
going
ever
back to
again?
his job.
No, he's not. He's never going to
He's
be able to
already
leave
going
Russia
back to
because
his
he's going
job.
to be arrested.
No, he's
So you're
not.
saying that when he gets to Russia, he's going to jail.
No,
No,
he
he's
can't
not.
leave Russia. He won't be able to
He's
travel
already
through
going
Europe.
back to his job. He's already going back to his job. That's why the
What?
Pentagon already
He'll be
that's why
arrested
the
in any other
Pentagon
country.
already declared that's why the Pentagon already declared that they're worried about what this man's going to do. Day one, it's only been 1 day
So,
since he's
bro,
been traded back.
the Russian military can't beat the Ukraine on its own. Do you think this dude's gonna help the Russian military? The number three military in the world cannot beat
Why not
the
help the
Ukraine on its own.
government?
Wait. But that's like saying, okay, we got to make sport. I got to make sports analogies. We
I
got to
get that.
use sports.
I
Okay,
respect that.
listen.
I
That's like
respect that,
saying like the Warriors couldn't beat the Utah Jazz, but then when they get
it's
Steph Curry, they blow them out.
bro. Look, the Merchant of Death. That guy is not what you guys think he is. He's definitely not the John Wick.
Oh, come on.
He's not, bro. The fuck, what, dude?
Okay. Answer this, Chico. Why did Russia want him back so bad? Did
Well,
Russia
they
just
want.
want to make a
Why do
deal?
we want? Why do we want our
No, just
people back?
answer the question, Chico. Don't you can't
Answer
answer a
the
question with a
question.
Well, I
question.
could answer the question because
You
he's a
can't
Russian
answer a
Finish.
citizen
question
and
with a
he's an
question.
asset. He's an
Answer the
asset.
question. Why
I
does
did
Russia
because
want the guy? Why does
he's
Russia
in.
want him?
They actually got another guy before him,
Who
and
did they get before
it
him?
was a
You're not
pilot. I
answering the
forget his name. It's something Veroshenko, but they
Okay,
actually got him before
Why
him.
didn't okay? If Russia got this pilot, was this pilot? Did they get this pilot before Brittany Griner was free?
Yeah, yeah.
Why
Nope.
didn't America switch the pilot for Brittany
Oh yeah.
Griner?
They switched him
Nope.
for Reed. That was there longer than Griner.
Reed got freed longer before Griner wasn't in
That's
possession when Reed got freed.
he got swapped out for Veroshenko.
Trevor Reed was free. Griner got incarcerated after Trevor Reed was free.
Trevor Reed was just
Exactly.
wasn't Trevor Reed who was the one that was just released not too long ago by Biden.
Trevor Reed.
He was traded for
2019.
Veronchenko. He was
He was listen, Chico. He was released in 2019.
He's telling
So
the truth.
released him. Donald Trump
The
didn't give Trevor
question is,
Breed back.
Chico, listen, answer the question
I
without
did answer
bringing
the
up
question
Trump.
because he's an asset. Because
Wait a
he's
minute,
an
what did
asset
you
to
say?
Russia.
Why?
Because he's
So
an
you're
asset to Russia. But why are we going to leave an American over there, bro? Why the
Chico,
fuck are we
listen
going
to
to?
what you just said. Listen
He's
to
an
what you
asset.
just said. Chico, listen to
Not
what
even
you
listening.
just said.
But hold on. But why are you guys so afraid of Russians? What the fuck?
Chico,
You
but
guys
listen
are
to what you just said.
literally cowards. You
Hold on,
guys are
wait a minute. Everybody
cowards.
chill.
You
Chico.
guys are fucking cowards, bro. Like
Could you
really,
stop?
fuck.
Be
Oh,
quiet.
yeah,
Listen to what you
yeah.
just,
How
Chico.
it is. All cowards. When
Didn't
you
he
tell
just
the guy,
say, wait a minute,
he,
Donald, didn't he just say that he was an asset to Russia and then he
yeah,
gets mad at us? But I was going to point that out.
and he calls us cowards.
Right. He
We're
ain't
trying to tell
to
him.
why people are worried.
Okay,
eh,
the
Robert
bottom
Lee.
line on
Sorry,
this whole thing is that Brittany
I
Griner
butchered.
had
Sorry.
the right to come back because, okay, granted, she should have known better. You're going to a foreign country. The rules are nowhere near the same as the United States. So she should have known better. Should she have stayed there that long? No. But at the same token, the people that were elected in the White House, you elected a vice president who put more Black Americans in jail for the same amount of weed that this woman had on her. But yet
Exactly. We've been saying that.
you're arguing about how this keeps happening. Why did you vote Kamala Harris as the vice president,
I didn't.
knowing that this was going to
I
happen?
didn't vote for it. I didn't vote for Biden. But you know the reason why is because America plays identity politics. It
And that's
was like
exactly what I was going to say. I was
it
going to
was
say that. You
yeah,
dropped the
because
rate.
she represented three things. She was a woman, she was black,
Exactly.
and then she was Asian. So it was like history in the making.
Why did her to prop up his ratings?
Right.
Yeah, and
So he
That's
that's
thought,
all
the
it
let's
way he's
was.
go
going to do
trade
it.
the death. Let's give him the merchant of death, and I'll get good ratings by bringing home this girl.
Right. This gives him three classes. She's a woman, she's LGBTQ, and she's black. And what no one is looking at
I'm not
is
against all of that.
she wasn't no,
Sorry.
this is my point. She wasn't arrested because she was black. She wasn't arrested because
No.
look at it. There was other black women over there who was playing basketball. There was other black women over there who half the WNBA is gay. Let's be real about it. They was black,
Yeah.
they was women, and they was LGBTQ. Why didn't none of them get arrested?
Because
Why did
Brittany
all of
Grenier
them
was
get to
at
come home?
the airport.
Huh?
What they don't do is Brittany Grenier was asked at the airport, has anybody had any control of your luggage?
Right.
She said
That's
no.
the whole
I
point.
had control of it. That's claiming possession.
Right?
So anything is your luggage is now yours. When you
Right.
say that that's mine, that claims possession.
But
So
at the
she
end,
knew for a fact that she had that stuff on her. If she would have said that it wasn't mine, I haven't had possession of it, then she probably would have gotten locked up. But since she claimed it, she claimed possession of it. So
yeah,
But
but
now,
wait a
let's
minute.
look at it from the outside looking in. She was a pawn. The Russians knew exactly what they were doing. They targeted her just like anybody else. You're right. How many other black women was over there? How many of them were gay? They targeted her for a reason.
But
They needed this guy back, so they had to use her as a pawn, and it worked.
but here's the thing. But like he's saying, this is what people don't understand. This wasn't the first time Brittany Griner tried this. It's just the first time she got caught. Because if she would have got caught, she'd been going over there for 5 years. She'd been going 5 years. Y'all gotta believe that she tried it before. She just got caught this time. If she would have got caught 5 years earlier, we probably wouldn't be having this discussion. But Brittany Griner put herself in this position. That's what everyone is missing the point. She put
Yeah,
herself in this position.
she wasn't targeted. She
she
No,
was
did.
she was caught, and when they realized what they had in their possession, then they used her as a pawn. Okay, It
Russia
wasn't that
had
she
looked
was
like they had the
targeted at
golden
all.
ticket.
Because yeah, that's what they did. They didn't target her. You know, they didn't say, "Oh, she's coming through the airport. We know she's got something on her." No, they used her after they realized what they had. It's just like a chess game. Okay, when you realize that you have, you know, them people, they have their queen and they have their king still left. You're automatically gonna go after the king first before you go after the queen. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And what they realized is they were like, hey, we got one of their stars for this, and we're gonna hold her here till, you know what I'm saying? They didn't mean to hold her there till we decided to put something up for her. They held her on a charge that she was guilty of, and then when they realized that they were talking to our country, and our country had somebody that would not only make a difference for us, but make a difference to them, then they said, okay, let's politic, let's sit down, let's negotiate. You see what I'm saying? They
Right.
didn't
And
have to do that.
that's the question that people are not asking. Why did they want the guy back? Because Russia ain't just going to ask for some guy back for no reason.
They wanted him back because,
He's an asset to them.
yes, exactly. Not
And
only
that's
is
what
it,
people are not looking at. They asked for that guy back for a reason. They just not pointing their finger, because there's probably some other Russian prisoners in jail in America that they could have said, "Oh, give us that guy." They went after that guy for a reason. Has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with being a woman.
like I said, the more that we make it about race, sex, creed, religion, whatever you want to make it about, the more that it divides us as people. You see what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
it diverts our attention off of the reason they did what they did. That's all
Exactly.
it's about.
Other two that were on here, the one that was from South Africa, dropped the race card.
I'm sorry, what's
That
that?
if you drop the race card and forget about race, forget about that, you actually see the issues on why this person let go.
I'll tell you like this. In in intelligence, there is no race. You hear what I'm saying? When you have knowledge and intelligence, there is no race. When you have
Yeah,
ignorance, that's when there's a race issue. You see what I'm
But
saying?
but if you really look at this, like I said earlier, anybody who's saying it's about race, there was other black women over there. Anybody who says it's about being women, there was women of the highest paid WNBA player was over in Russia. Why did they target her? There was white. What's that lady's name? Donna Tassesi or whatever her name is. She was over there. Why did they target her?
That's
All
what
the
I'm saying.
WNBA, 80% of the WNBA, 90% I would say is all gay. So these people who was like, oh, they target her because she was gay, because she was black, because she's a woman. They're just making excuses. And like you said, she fell into their hands. They didn't put the dope in her bag. They didn't tell her to bring the dope over there. They happened to find the dope, and then they was like, "Oh, we got a bargaining chip." That was the
Exactly.
bottom line.
Exactly.
Wait, isn't Russia still fighting the Ukraine? Would that be
Yeah,
the reason why they wanted this guy back so badly? Because they need the upper hand again?
yeah, that's what I believe.
That's exactly why they wanted him back. It's just like us. If we lost our president, or let's say we not even, let's say we lost our chief in command of arms, okay? If we don't have him, who's there to step in and do that? We need him, right?
Right.
So let's say it was reverse role. Okay, let's say we were Russia and they had our main guy that does the arms dealing for us and that puts us back into power against another country. What are we going to do? We do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and that's the way you got to look at it. It's just all this race, creed, and all this stuff. That stuff put in place to divert your attention away from everything that's really going on. You know what I'm saying? And they've
But
been doing it. They've been doing it for the people in power. They've been
They've been
doing
doing
that
it
for
for
years.
centuries.
Yeah, and it's not gonna stop. And just like the countries over there fighting each other, that's not gonna quit. You know, we can't stop that. No matter how many troops we send over there, we can't
but
stop that.
you know what though? The Biden administration can hide behind race because if you question this, either they're going to call you a racist. If you're black, they're going to call you a homophobe, or they're going to call you a sexist. So anybody who questions the Biden administration on this move, you're going to be labeled one of those three names. So it's a win for them. They don't really have to answer for what they did because
Nope.
anyone who questions this, it risks being called a homophobe or racist or sexist.
Yeah, it's like this. It's basically our government. You know what I'm saying? It's it's our government as a whole. It's not just like everybody wants to blame the president for things. Okay, it's like you were saying. I believe you said it earlier, God. The president's a puppet.
Right.
He's no more than a puppet. All our presidents are puppets. Who's the one behind the president? I know you know, God. Who is it?
Central banks.
Lobbyists.
No,
Uh,
the people who are the people that give our president the bills to look at Congress. Congress is the one that reads our bills and gives them to the president to sign. You think our president actually sits there and goes through 1,000 pages of a bill? No. Congress looks it over and gives it to him and says, "This will be good for us. Sign this." What's he gonna do? He's gonna sign it. That's what he's there to do. You see what I'm
but
saying?
that's a good point because you notice they did this after the Democrats won the seat in Georgia.
Yeah.
People not looking at that point.
No, it's a diversion. It's smoke and mirrors.
No, but that gives him protection. You basically can't impeach him. The Russian, he's once he won that seat, all of a sudden this happened.
Yeah, just okay. Just like I've been hearing about that. What is that new thing they got going on? I caught it the other day because I don't really like me. I don't really watch the news, but I had um I had overheard the thing on the TV about the new what is that the new damn I can't think of it. It's something that it's like the new order or something or whatever, like some kind of group that's together or something. But anyways, it's just a lot of the stuff that they do is to divert our attention away from what they're really doing. You know, and that's what it boils down to.
Yeah,
But like you said, it's been happening for decades with every single sitting president, every single
Yeah,
sitting Congress and Senate. They'll do whatever they can so you don't see what's happening in the background, and they'll create chaos to keep your attention over here while they're already screwing up from the other one.
yeah. Well, all right, y'all. I'm about to go. Been on here long enough. I thank y'all. Appreciate everyone.
all right, man. It was nice talking with you, man.
All right,
Nice
come
talking to
back
you
on
too.
again.
All
All right,
right.
come back on again.
Yep. Later.
Later.
All right.